Fuck me, we're done most things today. Alright, and we're live, baby. Let's go. Cool. Username Morpheus, Thunder, Nagito. How's everyone doing? Username doesn't sleep. Don't be silly, Thunder. Oh wait, okay, yes, I already played this. What do we do? Let's do Wordle. Wordle. No 3am whiz, then leave after a few minutes and read RI. How about username? Hear me out. You just watched me the entire time. Crazy idea. Hear me out. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay. Guess the distance from it. I'm thinking Asia somewhere. Let's try Japan. Obviously, this is not Japan, but let's see where it gives me. Need to read as much as I can while the devil is dead. What? Fuck, that's a bad guess. Wow. Okay, other side of the world. Let's go Mexico. South of Mexico. Where are we feeling? Good. Mexico. Procrastination double. Spain? Or is that too far? I'll play Elden Ring Night Rain tomorrow. Nice. Fuck. Okay, that's too bad. 4,000 kilometers east of Mexico. What? By the way, apologies in advance, but we went out to watch some fireworks. There's still fireworks happening. You guys probably can't hear it, but I didn't get a chance to eat, so I'm really hungry, so I'm eating some potato chips. You guys might get some ASMR. That's not the intention, but it's there. Before the OnlyFans, this will have to do, I guess. Yes, I saw the message, Morpheus. Okay. 4,000 kilometers from... 3,000 kilometers from Mexico. You know what's weird? Wiz has the XP stuff in chat. Hear me out. I'm built different. Can anyone give me some ideas? I don't know. I give up on this. Never mind. Fuck it. Let's play something else. Guess the angle? What is this guess? Random memory. Is that Dr. Z? Maybe. I assume probably not. Okay. How you doing? Sorry, we have a regular chatter who's who comes in. And, oh, it's you. Okay, never mind. So what were you asking? What? Play a different game on Lexicon site? Oh, they have wait, they have other ones? I like those ones. It's Dr. Z 100%. Wow. What? Wait, a new game will start in 21 hours. Wait. Oh, yes, there is a new one. Based. Okay. Drama. Emphasize. Is that how you spell it? Fuck yeah. Drama. Emphasize. Act. Drama. Act. 8? Is that how you spell? Fuck. How do you spell exaggerate? I can't spell. EXAGG. Oh, not double R. That's fine. Go to the bottom and click. Oh wait, no. Let's play this first. Let's play this. And besides, we only have like technically I should have started reading like a minute ago, so it's fine. Drama, act, play. Play, game. Category. Rating. Play, game, gameplay. Gameplay is not a word. What? Okay. Drama, act. So wait, oh, what's that game? What were we playing before? Oh, role play, maybe. That is not how you spell it. Sorry, I have my keyboard on the side now with the mic in the center, so I'll have as much ready access. So my typing is going to be dog shit. Fuck me. Fuck, can you guys hear the fucking fireworks? They're so loud. That's that XP thing. Basically every live stream it resets Dr. Z, and based on how many chat messages you give, it'll rank everyone, but the top 1, 2, and 3 will have a thing next to their name. We'll have like a crown next to their name. You get XP for chatting and for like super chats and stuff. Okay, thank you. Yo, last stream I fell asleep watching and woke up to this stream. What the wait, Merlin, you slept? Oh well, like, I guess you only slept for 6 hours. No, 6 hours. Yeah, that's not that bad. But I'll be leaving in a while to read, so I'll lose my spot. Yes. Okay. Let's just wait for like 2 more minutes. I'm probably not getting this today. This is rough as fuck. And then we'll start reading, okay? Bug, how's it going, man? How you doing? I apologize. I'm eating. But I'm really hungry. We didn't get a chance to make anything. We're probably just going to order food at this point. So they'll probably just order pizza. I'll have it after stream. So, as I was saying, until the OnlyFans, the ASMR will have to do. Also, I'll call you Unc for misunderstanding. Wait, what the fuck did I misunderstand? What? Okay, I'm not getting this. It's just a gluttonous beast. Bro. Okay, that feels like... What's your time? It's 10 p.m. for me, Thunder. Okay, let's just play. You understood me playing... What? You misunderstood me saying to play this game? How is that a bad thing? I don't understand. Well... Oh, okay, cool. I can actually see it from... I can see it from here now. Okay, this is dope. Okay, let's start. 8:04. I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually really hate this. Oh, I'm so hungry. Fuck. So if I comment more, you will... Yes, Merlin. Or a super chat. Nah, I just kid. 8:04. Archaeological team. I'm sorry. Who said that about me being a gluttonous beast? Yeah, you might have actually been right. Never mind. Fuck, that is such a long word. You're kidding. Bro, I hate it when a word's long enough that I can't even fucking fit it in my thing without having to move it around. Fuck this place. Might or might not have been me who said that. You know what? It's fine. Okay, as he sighed, Klein indulged himself by relaxing like an ordinary person enjoying a rare instance of serenity and comfort in his dream. After about 15 minutes, he finally waited to the point when the church beyonders that was sent to placate him left. Finally, I can sleep in peace. Klein planned on opening his eyes out of habit before falling asleep again, but he realized that once he wasn't on high alert and on guard, the remnant sense of tranquility in his dream would allow him to fall asleep in a deep slumber. That night, the quality of his sleep was extremely good, and he only managed to wake up at daybreak. Outside, the sun had just peeked over the horizon, while the moon remained shining in the sky. There was a slight howl from the winds. Klein lazily dazed in bed for nearly 10 minutes before picking up the golden pocket watch by his bedside and snapping it open. It's not even 6:30. Should I just roll over and sleep, or should I wake up? The XP is broken? No, it's not, Nagito. F you guys, that's a good one to have. I don't know, what is that currency? What? What is that currency? I don't actually know it. Vietnamese. Oh, I see. Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you, Thunder. I appreciate that, but that was sorry. That was just the message. I was focused more on the message than the super chat. Thank you, bud. You're right. It's dong. Wait, what actually is the Vietnamese currency? Let me just look it up. Fuck! I turned off the music. I'm so stupid. I'm stupid and small. Fuck me. Vietnamese currency. Gee, it is Vietnamese dong. Holy fuck, dude. You guys have some inflation problems, eh? Holy fuck. What is a super chat? It's basically just you pay money for a chat. It gets highlighted, sort of like the light blue one you see for Thunder. So that way, if there's like a long stream and stuff, I don't miss it. 30,000 dong is like a pound. I also like dongs. Not efficient. No mods? Fuck, you're right, there are no mods. Bitch. Alright, Nagito. Don't be out of control. You have the power. I love that I love that my mods are so great that when I give someone a mod, I'm like, hey, don't be out of control. You should move bottom pick so face isn't cut off. I feel like I mean, if that's the case, I don't need to. I don't think my face is cut off. But hold on. But if that's the case, I can just. Finally, he read. It took like 6 times. Okay, sorry, username. I only read super chats now. I apologize. Fuck you, username. Okay, there we go. That should be better. Okay, let's just go. Yeah, I got it. Chill. By the way, 810 is not a good chapter to end on. Thunder, that's just a stand-in, man, because the truth is... So the pick isn't cut off, not you? Oh, you're saying his face. I see what you mean. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, hold on. God damn it. Let's do that really quickly. And then let's just do... and then let's just do that. Okay? It's... Fuck me, I'd have to... This is so bad. This is so much worse. Or, wait, do you guys prefer this? I prefer the other one. But, I mean, you guys let me know. If you prefer this one, you can have it. Okay. Sorry. It's not... He didn't have any hint of feeling lethargic, so he decided to get out of bed and wash up before walking to his balcony to take a look at the orange vista. In this season, due to the wind, Backland didn't have thick smog. Together with the environmental measures to put in place over the past few months... Old better? I thought I liked the old one better too, but username was insistent. Okay, let's just do this really quickly. When the arc is so peak, sleeping is no longer an option. Based. Okay. Just let me know, I don't care either way. In this season, due to the weather, Backland didn't have some thick smog. I was only insistent because you didn't read it, so I needed it. Fuck you. Together with the environmental measures put into place over the past few months, the skies were often blue and with fresh air. The gardeners were already busy in the garden, and the tailor maid and the parlor maid and the handyman were heading to the market. Other than them, the surroundings were calm and peaceful. This invigorated Klein as he temporarily forgot all his troubles. He felt the world belonged to him at the moment. I can't even tell the difference. It's quite similar. It doesn't really matter. I can just leave it as is. With a faint smile, he silently enjoyed the scenery. In the next 15 minutes, the servants would walk from the surrounding houses in pairs of 2 or 3. Anyway, like I said, bye. Alright, bye. Read Reverend Insanity. You bitch. With a faint smile, he silently enjoyed the scenery. In the next 15 minutes, servant would... I already read this. They were either holding baskets or leading horses. The entire burrow seemed to come to life as the sunlight grew brighter. This is what life should be like. Klein silently sighed as he had the urge to take a stroll. He turned around and left the balcony and walked to the door. Outside the master bedroom, Richardson was already waiting outside. It was impossible to guess what time he woke up. Alright, we'll just keep the new one for now. It really doesn't matter. Outside the master bedroom, nope. This was the most difficult thing about a valet. He needed to sleep later than his employer, but wake up earlier. There's another hour before breakfast. Sir, if you wish for it to be brought forward, the kitchen will be ready within 15. There's no need to bring it forward. I plan on taking a stroll first. Very well, sir. Richardson entered the bedroom, and based on the employer's suggestion, he chose a coat and helped him wear it. Finally, Klein wore a silk top hat and held a gold inlaid cane before walking down to the first floor, leaving the residence and strolling down the street that was lined with intense parasol trees and black lamps until he reached the other end. Along the way, each resident's garden emanated a faint fragrance as the green leaves of the trees created a sense of tranquility from high on above. Pedestrians that were in pairs in twos or threes in what seemed like a sparse street. The occasional carriage that drove by would break the silence. Klein enjoyed the morning, taking in the pleasantries of waking up early. He felt the negative emotions from yesterday were evaporating. Beyonders need to learn how to control conditions for themselves to regulate mood. By taking this stroll, the bishop at St. Samuel will likely know that Dwayne has completely recovered. They won't disturb my sleep anymore. Klein's thoughts wandered as his gaze swept past 39 Bauckland Street, the house of the Member of Parliament Macht. Its external perimeter was in the form of sharp iron rods, allowing passerbys to appreciate the beauty of the garden within through the gaps. While moving his gaze away, will you make an episode 2 video? I really don't have an inclination to, Nugget, so I'm not going to lie to you. She woke up early. Her quality of sleep is excellent. Oh, wait, no. While Klein was moving his gaze away, he saw a familiar figure. It was Hazel. She woke up early, too. Her quality of sleep is excellent because she doesn't need to head down to the sewers in the middle of the night. Klein lampooned and retracted his gaze as he continued proceeding forward. Glancing at Richardson, who was silently following him, Klein suddenly thought of the news report and magazine articles. And novels he had read about the southern continent. He continuously kept up with the content of that region because that would flesh out his persona as Dwayne Dantas. After all, a lot of what he knew about the southern continent stemmed from pirates and adventurers. He had no idea if what he knew was exaggerated or fabricated. And the information I've read recently and in the past were about people who struck it rich in the southern continent. 810's not a good place to stop. Could you stop at 811 if you can? That should be fine, Roy. Although I'm going to be honest, 810 is kind of like a stand-in because I haven't eaten and 811's a very good place to stop. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, we'll try for 811. Okay. But I'm really hungry. I mean, I have potato chips, so I should probably be okay. But, like, if I get really, really hungry, I might have to leave early. 811 or re-riot. And we'll talk about it. Okay. We'll try to go for 811, but if I get really, really hungry, 814 is way better. You know what? How about we just do, like, 1435? How's that? Can we just stop there? A decent place? God, you fucking... God. He remembered that Richardson was born in a manor over there. Wait, as Klein's thoughts whirled, he casually asked his valet, "What's your impression of the southern continent? 1435 is better, fuck you." No, Nagata, we'll read 3 of the side stories. Richardson paused for a few seconds and said, "Sir, I actually don't know much about the southern continent because I was spending most of my time in the manor. I had a few opportunities to head out." "Just tell me of your impressions, your true impressions. You don't have to hold back. I just want to hear your general understanding. As you know, they all believe me to be an expert of the southern continent, but in fact, my experiences are only limited to a few places and merchants. My impression of the southern continent is hunger, exhaustion, and pain, as well as pining for the world after death. They used AI in side stories. I heard about that, Nugget. So apparently they used AI trained on fanfics that they had submitted to a contest they ran. Which is such a gutsy thing to do, thinking that no one would notice that. That's so clever, dude. I would watch you cook more theories. Oh, you bitch. No, Thunder. No, because it's Canada Day today. So we went to, which is like Independence Day for like everyone that's not in North America or Western Europe. So we went out to see some fireworks and stuff, and I just got back like not too long ago, so I didn't have a chance. So we didn't have a chance to make some food or anything. So I don't know if they're making food or they're ordering food at this point. I don't know. We'll find out. It's all good. That's why I'm just eating potato chips to tide me. Oh, good lord, to tide me over until the time comes. Hunger, exhaustion, pain. Klein repeated those words as he walked home. East Chester County, in a building beside Stone University. They definitely digested their... Dude, that's actually insane. I know, they thought they could just use AI and no one would ever notice? How are you this dumb? Hold on, I watched, I read a comment about that. Someone said, Lord of the Mysteries is getting T-bait treatment for everything except the Donghua. And that was good, because even though the manhwa is really, really good, it's literally one guy in his basement slaving away. Also, fuck Crunchyroll, they used AI subs. I don't think they used AI in Nagito, because the subs are good. There's just a few okay, fuck, I'm gonna get clipped for saying the subs are good. The subs are generally decent, but there's a few places they make really, really big mistakes. So it doesn't feel like they used AI. They probably used someone who's unfamiliar with the original and didn't put in a lot of work. Eastchester County, in a building beside Stone University. Audrey was looking at the collections obtained by Relic Search and Preservation Foundation. Nah, AI would be correct. I probably wouldn't go that far, Merlin. She had originally planned on coming on Tuesday afternoon, but Associate Professor Michelle Duth had participated in an academic conference in Backlund. Therefore, only by returning today and a result, she had no choice but to change her plans. You know what we should do? After I finish Lord of the Mysteries, we should go to ChatGPT and like DeepSeek and a couple other, and maybe Grok or whatever, and ask it to make some fanfics based on Lord of the Mysteries, and see how much it gets right and see how much it fucks up. That'd be a dope video. This pair of boots was discovered by a farmer in mountainous ruins in stone. Its shape and traits matched the societal trends of the fourth epoch. Michelle introduced the item inside the glass cabinet to the beautiful aristocrat. That's what I mean after I finished Lord of the Mysteries, Roy. Audrey looked over with interest and discovered that the ends of the boots were curled like a clown. The height of the curled pants weren't uniform. One was 3 centimeters and the other 5. The fourth epoch's asymmetrical style. I wonder what level it is for 3 on the left and 5 on the right. I feel like that's like commoners, no? I know, yeah. You know. Well, I don't know how many we'll be able to talk about at that point, because they'll either be confirmed or denied, I would assume. But yeah. Where does it come from? Audrey asked. No, wait. At the end of the tour, Michelle pointed at the glass, diagonally ahead of them. This coat was delivered this coat of arms was delivered a few days ago. It involves the very ancient worship of dragons. Dragons. Audrey strode forward in a reserved manner. Where does it come from? She asked. It's from a village called Hartlarketh. This Loanese word doesn't have an archetype for ancient Fasak. Apparently, it's written like how it's read. That's the village which I previously visited that had the folk tradition of worshipping dragons. In the sea of collective subconscious, in this collective subconscious of the people there's a mind dragon. The 20-year war notebook which I previously obtained from Michelle was from a local knight named Lindalira. He was suspected to have something to do with that mind dragon. Audrey nodded in thought as she deliberated over her words, wishing to ask about the person who had found the coat of arms. At that moment, Michelle's expression turned abnormally heavy. Okay, you know what? Give me 2 seconds. I feel like my image is a little overexposed. Give me 1 second. I'm just curious if I can fix that really quick. I'm right here. I'm just trying to I'm just going to try to adjust the lighting a little bit. La-di-da-di-da. I am curious if that's better. I don't actually know. It might actually be worse. Couldn't fucking tell you. But let's just try. That actually looks... I feel like that looks better. You guys let me know. I feel like that looks better. Maybe that's worse. I don't know. In a new anime, Crunchyroll were too lazy to remove the ChatGPT. Are you sure, Nagato? I feel like that'd be some fucking fake news bullshit, no? Sorry to expose you guys to my Trumpian news. You're fake news. You're sure? Alright, fair enough. What anime? Accompanying the discovery of this coat of arms was a tragedy. A tragedy? Audrey didn't hide her surprise. An archaeological team entered this village to study the folk tradition of worshipping dragons. But at night, one of the members went mad, and the mental illness was apparently contagious. The entire archaeological team later went mad, killing themselves or each other. In the end, none survived. This coat of arms was found along with their remains. It was first taken away by the police, and after confirming it had no problems, they donated it to us. An idea came to Audrey's mind: psychology alchemists. Members of the archaeological team were members of the psychology alchemists. 8:05, meeting up. Inside the building of the Relic Search and Preservation Foundation, Audrey, who was going through upheaval, blinked. Oh, what a tragedy. I hope their spirits can rest in peace. She had guessed, the reason she guessed that they were from the psychology alchemists was that she received a mission to help the organization find a notebook related to the 20-year war. This notebook belonged to the knight from Hartlarketh village. Back then, Audrey had made a request to the Fool and relied on magic divination to determine the origins of the notebook. At this point, they're really provoking us. Anime released on. Fair enough. Just curious. Damn, that is okay. That's actually pretty bad. That's really bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I generally like to think they're not as bad as people say, but that's really bad. Okay. I don't know how you fucked that up. That's like hilariously bad, actually. Dude, my fucking god. Okay. I might have to get a new mouse. God damn it. My mouse it just keeps cutting out occasionally. Okay. And back then, Audrey made a request to the Fool and relied on magic mirror divination to determine the origins of the notebook. She discovered it was deeply connected to the village that worshipped dragons. She knew ahead of time that there was a mind dragon hiding within the collective sea of subconscious. She ultimately chose to hand over the notebook to the alchemists in consideration of her lacking strength. Thanks, Nagato. I will check that out, okay? That also meant the psychology alchemists had a significant chance of locking onto Hartlarketh village through the notebook. Another factor Audrey used in her judgment was a strange mental illness the team suffered. It spread like a plague. In the real world, there was a probability that mental illness make a video about what, Morpheus? In the real world, there was a probability that mental illnesses were hereditary, but almost impossible for them to be contagious. But in the collective sea of subconscious, they could be. The AI subs? Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. The psychology alchemists had found Hartlarketh's village through the notebook, and the threatened mind dragon used this ingenious method to spread mental corruption. He might have achieved this through the sea of collective subconscious. The Beyonder world sure is dangerous. The small team must have been formed by a selection of Beyonders, but they ended their lives in such a ridiculous manner. Oh, Nagato sent light novels history. Okay, cool. As Audrey thought about it, she was glad that she had made a sufficiently rational decision. She hadn't wistfully used the knight's notebook to explore Hartlarketh village. Too late, he already made a village. Ramiro, how's it going? Nagato, you just lost your mod. How's it going, Ramiro? How you doing? Thanks to the Fool and the other members of the Tarot Club. Thanks to the Rear Admiral who previously infiltrated in disguise. They allowed me to recognize the hidden dangers despite my lack of actual experience. It made me sufficiently cautious, Audrey thought in gratitude. At that moment, her recalling her performance when she first joined the Tarot Club, made for her to wish to bury her head in her pillows. I am average. Don't say that about yourself. You're better than average. Come on. I already did, Dr. Z, but I appreciate your concern. Audrey, you were that naive and immature back then. Thankfully, you met Mr. Fool. If it were any other existence, you would have long gone mad. Mr. Fool is such a nice man. No, such a nice orthodox god. Michelle noted Audrey's silence and said, yes, it truly is a tragedy. I only wish that the government had already handled the matter and prevented the mental illness from becoming a plague. Don't worry, unless that mind dragon loses control and plans to challenge the three churches, there won't be any more victims, Audrey silently thought. From her point of view, the official Beyonders had already taken on the case. After all, contagious mental illness was definitely going to be under their purview. Technically true, Nagito. Even with Dr. Z here, you're actually right. Good for you. Therefore, the dragon coat of arms in the glass must have been determined to be fine before being donated. While Audrey felt pity for the team who were suspected to be alchemists, as though she has experienced the tragedy for herself, she was curious if the mind dragon remained in that vicinity. To hide in the collective sea of subconscious with one's body would make it difficult to be discovered, but the three churches have a long history. In the fourth epoch, or even earlier, they must have had bouts with the mind dragons. So perhaps they have the corresponding records about it. Besides, the psychology alchemist is in control of the spectator pathway. Wait. Sorry, I'm just thinking about something. The original creator... Could it be said that he is the one who stands above the spirit world? Because who else would it be? Their comprehension of the collective sea of subconscious can't be that much weaker than the mind dragons. After suffering such a terrible failure due to the lack of information, they will definitely send a very powerful team. Although that mind dragon wasn't stronger than what the alchemists expected, it probably wouldn't stay there to be discovered. It should have left. She didn't have any thoughts of visiting. The original creator, according to the creation myth, is everything? Hey, Wizard, just finished. Damn it, Blaze, no, wait for me, we'll finish it together. Damn it. Nah, I'm just kidding, man. Go on, yeah, that's awesome. They say the ending of Volume 4 is really good. I think they say that. I don't know. I don't know who's they, even. The original creator, according to the creation myth, is everything. Yeah, I don't know what to do that. Never mind. She didn't have any thoughts of visiting Hartlacat village to figure out the truth, because she long knew that the present her lacked the strength to deal with the mind dragon. Yeah, Volume 4 is in my top 3. Yeah, nice. Her only intention was to mention the matter at the next Tarot Club and see if the other members could provide any feedback or knowledge. For example, it might be that the mind dragon entered the collective sea of subconscious because of the local worship of dragons. Or it could be that the dragon's inhabitation of the collective sea of subconscious caused the villagers to dream of it, thus being subconsciously influenced and having the tradition of worshipping it. On Friday afternoon, Klein received the invitation list for the ball tomorrow. He began to seriously memorize the topics he needed to discuss. Okay, let's see how much peak it is. No, you son of a bitch, wait for me, Blaze. When meeting member of parliament Mach, he needed to make remarks about how good the recent Aaron Backlund is and make a few jokes about the Lone Kingdom's Imperial Science Institute. A man. Wait, and as Klein memorized, he heard us. He suddenly heard "Stacked Illusory, please." Volume 4 ending is very peak based. Okay. We just need Oh fuck, you're right, Morpheus. It's fine. Oh, we're about to end this chapter soon anyway. A man, based on how long it's been, probably the hanged man. Klein then went to the bathroom and went above the gray fog. I'm waiting for you at chapter 890. Hurry up, bro. I'm working on it, Thunder. Don't you? This man has requested the Honorable Fool to inform the world that he has arrived at the capital of the Rorstad Archipelago. He could head for the primitive island in 2 days. He wanted the world to begin preparations so they could meet in time. Volume 6... I feel like Volume 6 is fucking everyone's favorite. He also indicated that if he lacked the means to head for the island, he could arrange for the world to board the Blue Avenger. Excuse me? Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, the thing where I had my chat open and it kind of collapsed on me. That's interesting. It's still okay. It's still running on stream. Don't watch the old Neil classes thing. Wait, what? You're telling me they tell me shit in fucking for volume 1 Donghua readers and I still can't know it? You're taking the fucking piss, right, Romero? What the fuck? There's no shot. What the fuck do you mean they're telling you stuff I shouldn't know? What the fuck? Okay, fine. It's fine. Board the Blue Avenger and bring a bunch of sailors from the Church of Storm to the vicinity of the primitive island. Also, hi, I'll be looking for the most today. No worries, Livian. Thanks for popping by, man. How long could the sanguine anesthetic gas you brought from Emlyn last? Will there be enough time to explore? Klein thought for a moment and conjured the world to say, there's no need to go through that much trouble. You should have freedom of movement in Bayam. Meet me at the cemetery outside the city at midnight tonight. Before that, replenish your stores. Wait, they're gonna explore it right now? To be honest, I use 11 Labs TTS to listen to chapters. It's quite good and saves me time. Oh shit, that's cool, Blaze. Okay. I couldn't do that though. I have a really bad track record with audiobooks. Problem is, if I'm listening to audiobooks, I just tune it out after a while. I don't know, just my ADHD brain can't do that. Bayam, an inn. Alder frowned after hearing the world's words. He did have freedom of movement in the City of Generosity. This was because the sailors were eager to head to places like the Red Theater. They were definitely not returning tonight, and after waking up in the day, it was almost certain that they would head to a casino or gamble. It was to vent the repression and misery they felt from being out at sea for so long. No clue how an audiobook is faster than just reading it? Well, I suppose it depends if you can turn it to like 150% speed or something. Like if I'm watching a long YouTube video and like I'm actually focusing on it, I'm watching it at like 1.5x or 2.5 or 2x, right? Like I'm fucking blazing through it. This also meant that even if Alder disappeared for the night, no one would notice. Is the world implying that we use this interval? This is indeed better than using the sanguine anesthetic gas. I've already used it twice, so who knows if someone is already suspicious and is waiting. But without a ship, how do we head for the primitive island? Oh, Leimano's travel. This magician did mention that it had the beyonder powers of teleportation, but there's only one page, making it impossible for a return trip. Alder relied on his strong ability to connect matters to guess Gehrman's intent. With these doubts in mind, he made contact with the resistance and replenished his charms that were made with tin. When it was 11 at night, Alder left the inn and headed out of the city under the shadows. Now, I read faster than TTS, but I can multitask. Fair. No, if I'm multitasking and there's a audiobook playing, I'm just going to tune it out after a while. I saw the Chinese Lord of the Mysteries audiobook would take around 300 hours to completely listen. 300 hours. How many? Let's say if I'm reading, I can read a chapter in 5 minutes. 1400. 1400 times 5 minutes divided by 60. That would take me about 116 hours. I can play games while TTS is going? Nah. I can play games and listen to music, but that's because like I'm not even really listening to the music. I'm just like it's in the background. It's keeping me soothed, but I definitely can't play games if I'm listening to them. Soul games plus TTS, no shot. Souls games plus music, fuck yeah. He wasn't worried that the sailors would discover his disappearance because he too had needs. It was possible that he was sleeping with a lady in the Red Theater. And there were many such brothels in Bayam, and many such prostitutes. It was impossible to say there was something wrong with him. Once he left Bayam, Alger walked down a narrow road, and suddenly his gaze froze when he saw something. Under the crimson moonlight, the mountain that originally existed vanished. Are you telling me that fucking that demigod fight fucking shaved off a mountain? What? Okay, damn. That's pretty dope. Once he left Bayam, no, already read this. And under the area, such as piled stone, vegetation, and terrain almost changed completely. Yeah. Wait, what? Romero, what do you mean? It says, the mountain that originally existed had vanished. What do you mean? Alger had come from the Resistance's private harbor earlier and didn't manage to pay close attention to the mountain before. He only noticed the abnormality at that moment. This mountain collapsed? Right, it was mentioned that Bayam encountered a shallow earthquake. Also, the church deacon said that Gehrman nearly destroyed Bayam and the matter had demigods involved. Both of them occurred at the same time. Could it be that it was caused by Gehrman? He instigated a demigod-level battle and managed to escape while killing the Admiral of Blood? He understood why the Church of Storm had placed such a great importance on Gehrman. In the undamaged cemetery up ahead, a cold wind blew across it as Alger headed towards it in the silent night. Alger's heart stirred as he turned his head to look. Underneath was Gehrman Sparrow. Let's go. We're fucking entering the island. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. Oh, we're gonna get some demigod level shit, baby. Longest chapter title. Holy fuck, you were not kidding, Morpheus. There you go. And now it's sitting on my face. Love that. Arthur, thanks, man. Holy shit, I appreciate that. Seriously, thanks so much, Arthur. Okay. Let's go, baby. Let's get some fucking... Dude, oh my god. If Klein can get some demigod level shit here and just sell it in Backland, He wouldn't need to worry about money at all. Sensational, yes. Yes, I would have expected that from Devil. At least it is a normal message, yes. I'm gonna love it. Fuck yeah, Blaze, let's get it, boys. Let's go. He did teleport over. How extravagant. Upon meeting Gehrman again, he discovered there wasn't much of a change to him, but every action he took had an indescribable air of a powerhouse, as expected of this lunatic. The slight bit of smugness of having advanced vanished from Alger. When he saw Gehrman, he probed. The traces you left behind might not vanish for the next few centuries or even a millennia. He was trying to confirm if the mountain collapse had anything to do with Gehrman. Klein shot a glance and smiled. The one who contributed the most was the Sea King. He actually triggered a demigod battle that could have destroyed Bayam and left with the Admiral of Blood. It's completely unimaginable. Alger began to suspect if Gehrman had a grade 1 artifact on him. Dude, Klein is broken as fuck. Everyone's like, bro, this guy might as well be a demigod. What the fuck is happening? He didn't express his shock and surprise, nor did he dare to probe further. Do you plan on heading to that island now? Of course, Klein answered. It was late at night, appeared when Dwayne was asleep and no one would disturb him. Of course, to prevent any unexpected circumstances, he once again summoned Eridus. It's definitely thanks to the Evernight for it's thanks to the Evernight for having ended its dream treatment of Mr. Tycoon, where it definitely would have had to delay the operation. Bro ran away from a lot of shit to get to this position. No, I agree. I totally agree. I feel like Klein has definitely earned his position as a powerhouse. Do we know the sequence 4 ritual now? No. No. Okay. It's thanks to... No, okay. Alger observed himself and discovered that he wasn't able to obtain any mystical item in such a short amount of time. He then took out an iron-black ring that protruded like a thorn and wore it on his left thumb. He nodded. I hope for a pleasant partnership. Then he saw Gehrman walk over with a stoic expression, reach out his hand, and grab his shoulder. Any theories about high-sequence rituals of the seer? I feel like... How crazy would it be? Hear me out. How crazy would it be if the ritual is you need to have your tarot like your tarot cards read, like Klein did in like a chapter 2 or 3 or whatever. I feel like that'd be really telling. I feel like that'd be really dope. Be careful, your theory might disappoint me. I don't know. Too easy? You need to have a straw. How can a ritual be so easy? Why does a ritual necessarily need to be difficult? Why does it necessitate difficulty? Any theories on sequence 0 rituals? I don't know. You need to go find the god of fate, like the god of the... What's she gonna... The sequence 4 ritual for Cat Leo is to get a drop of angel blood. Oh, fuck. Why would it be that easy? Okay. I don't know. It has to be difficult because you're becoming a demigod. Why does... Just because a good thing is happening means it has to be difficult? You can't have a good thing happen without it being hard? God, you guys are so pessimistic. I don't know. At that instant, Alger's first reaction was that Gehrman was attacking him. He instinctively wanted to turn to his side to dodge. But amidst his thoughts racing, he withheld his reaction and allowed the adventurer to place his palm on his shoulder. Godhood is heavy, bro? Fuck, I was... Okay. Thunder is very nice, I didn't say it. But when I said... But when he said, godhood is very heavy, bro, my immediate instinct was going to be that your mom is too. But Dude, I'm such a bad person. Oh, God. Can you get a job without going through a stupid interview? I regret super chat. I'm sorry. Dude, I'm a bad person. I'm not denying it. Can you get a job without a job? No, you can't get a job without an interview, Nagato, but just because you're getting a good job doesn't mean it needs to be a dog shit process. You guys are all like, oh, well, he's getting a godhood, so like, it needs to be really hard. Well, no, why can't you just get godhood with it just being an easy ritual? What the fuck? Okay, right on the heels of that, he noticed Gehrman's left hand turned transparent as though it was bearing the shadow of the spirit world. Then the blacks before his eyes grew darker and the crimson moon turned brighter, and all kinds of colors seemed to layer one upon each other. Countless nearly formless figures receded backwards as Alger tore through the spirit world with Gehrman. You need degrees to get some jobs? You don't apply for low sequence jobs? You don't for low sequence jobs? Okay. Fuck. Okay, see, that's the first good argument. That's actually a good argument. That's fair. So you need more impactful. I don't know. Dude, I don't know, okay? I feel like how would I possibly get the answer to that? Creeping hunger, teleport, so that's how it is. As the thought surfaced in his mind, he saw his body plummet and everything returned to normal. Beach, reefs, trees, this is the island. Alger surveyed the area just when he was about to speak, when the colors around him saturated once again. This time, when he left the spirit world, he was mid-air with undulating waves beneath him. Although Alger had never worked with Gehrman in actual combat, the experienced him immediately created a spiraling wind allowing them to float. It was a tacit display of teamwork. What there he can... Yeah, like, if I... The thing is, I don't know any demigod rituals. You gotta understand. You gotta understand, I don't know any demigod ritual, so I don't have like a frame of... And secondly, I also don't know what the uniqueness of the seer pathway is. It's like, it would be like if I said, hey, I need you to calculate this equation. There's 3 variables. You don't know the value of any of them. They could all be anything from negative infinity to positive infinity. You could calculate the answer, but it wouldn't be the answer. It would be a near infinite amount of answers. It's just I don't know. You're saying you haven't eaten? Just cook up some theories? Unfortunately, Merlin, that doesn't fill my stomach. And I'm a gluttonous bitch. Hence, the teleportation triggered once again as Alger and Gehrman rapidly phased away. No, not too late at all, Amnesiac. It is pretty cool, yes, some guy. I do appreciate that. Like, again, it's like it's fair. Like, you know, the whole, like, the more power you get, the more risk you take on. It feels fair. When the surroundings were restored, like, even the angel blood that Romero told me, I didn't know that was technically for her advancement ceremony. I didn't know that. I don't know about for what purpose she needed it. Maybe she just needed it for some... Maybe the Queen Mystic needed it for some bullshit. I don't know. She said that, bro? I don't know. Did she? I doubt it. I don't know. She very well could have said it. I just don't remember. We're here, Alger said as he looked around. Klein wore an indifferent expression, but in fact... he was cautiously observing his surroundings. He found the place extremely quiet. There were no birds tweeting, wolves howling, or bugs chirping. It exuded a deathly silence. As though guessing his feelings, Alger raised his lantern and illuminated the shrubs ahead. There was a natural trail made up of beast-type footprints, he said. If you come in the day, it'll be quite a lively sight. You'll even see birds that only exist in the myths fly in the forest. But at night, the power that rules this place will change, and many creatures will hide as they await daybreak. The hanged man has come here more than once. At the very least, he has the experience of a day and night. Alder thought for 2 seconds. If we follow this trail and enter the dark forest all the way ahead, we will arrive at that ancient ruins of the unknown age. On the way, we can hunt the beyonder creatures that we encounter and are able to deal with. If it's killed independently, the ingredient will belong to the killer. If we jointly kill it, those we jointly killed will be held in your custody. When we leave this place, we can take turns to choose. We will determine the owner based on our contribution. To decide who has the priority to choose, as well as the number of priority choices. Okay, I feel like Alder's taking a lot of... Bro, I gave you your fucking characteristic and the potion, and now we're going half-seas on this bitch? I don't know. Maybe I'm taking 70%, you dumb fuck. You know, like, I still... you're 30, isn't it? Like, I don't know, you know? Now first, never mind, username's right on the edge. Instead of being in a rush to take action, he first made clear the route and the plan to split the loot. It was to prevent any conflict in the future. To let me have custody of the loot we got from a joint kill. The hangman is being sincere. Klein raised his right hand, pressed his hat, and said, "No problem." Yeah, but wrong, because that basically means half, right? Because he's saying, like, we're both sequence 5s, like, we'll both do, like, good work. It'll probably, like, be split based on our contributions. I don't know, bro. You asking a lot. You know, I gave you your shit. I give you a lot. I gave you something you've been dying for so long. How about you be a little greatness, okay? Alder heaved a sigh of relief and continued, "Our main goal is to explore that ruin. The spoils we get along the way are supplementary. Once we finish the exploration, it's best we leave without heading to other zones or taking other paths. As for anything in the future, it's up to you to decide where and when you will go." Alder emphasized this because he was afraid of Gehrman's greed. After all, Beyonders were not perpetual machines. There was bound to be a point when they were exhausted, and after a round of exploration, they were bound to be close to their limits. If they forced themselves to hunt other zones, perhaps the identities of a hunter and prey would switch. Even if the crazy adventure was very powerful, to be in a state of drained spirituality would trigger signs of losing control. Yes, Amnesiac. Got it in one. Do you think I'm not sharing the same thoughts as you? I'm the one worried that you'll be greedy. Rashly proceeding deeper just to obtain more, Klein smiled. I'm a polite person. Polite? Alger was puzzled by Gehrman's words. When visiting someone else's place for the first time, overstaying would be impolite, Klein smiled. This fellow's train of thought and logical behavior is different from that of a normal person, as expected of a lunatic. Let's set off, Alger said. Klein allowed his hands to droop down as he walked beside Alger like he was on a hike. What does YouTube use? Batch processing, not real-time processing for the future? The XP goes up weird. It's probably just it probably updates in like set intervals. Thunder, if I had to guess, I don't know offhand, but it's probably just like every minute or every 30 seconds or something it'll update. Because real-time processing would probably just require so much CPU power. It's just like it just becomes inefficient. The two quickly entered the dark forest that had nearly zero moonlight shining in. They saw the trees were thick and tall with luxuriant leaves. Even the smallest trees were thicker than the span of a person's arm. But is the XP used for something? No, just bragging rights. And the trait they all had was common when the bark appeared scaly. They were densely packed together as though they would come to life at Squirm at any moment. Yeah, okay, username and I are on the same wavelength. It's not a mutated Drago tree. A snake scale tree? Klein retracted his gaze and noticed the weeds at his feet. None of them spoke as they maintained an abnormal silence. They didn't wish to say anything to eliminate the awkwardness, just because it was too quiet. As they walked, the duo saw the distinct trees up ahead turn sparser thanks to the lantern's light. If I had to guess username, I think it's because you were here first and like you were chatting when no one else was, so that probably gives you like a, I don't know, maybe that gives you like an additional bump or something. I don't know, because I think username was the first person here today. A dull knocking sound echoed in the area as Aldrin and Gehrman approached. It became clearer and more obvious. When the duo entered the sparse area, the lantern's light illuminated hunched or prostrate figures. Among these figures were humans, baboons, goats, and tigers. They were either holding rocks or using their claws and teeth to constantly burnish the stacked trees and rocks as they were burning a palace. Without the obstruction from the luxuriant leaves, the crimson moonlight that penetrated the heavy mist cloaked these figures, dyeing them with a faint blood-red layer. Oh, this thing is only for US? What do you mean, Thunder? There are humans. Klein's eyes focused as he immediately spread out his fingers. Alder slowed down, preparing his vocal cords to be activated at any moment. Suddenly, the figures seemed to sense something as they stopped their actions in unison before uniformly turning around to look at the two outsiders. This ranking? What do you mean that? Sorry, I still don't understand, Thunder. They either had pale faces, withered skin, or festering bodies. None of them looked alive. But, like, Ramiro was ranked earlier this morning, and I think you were ranked, right, Ramiro? Morpheus, I don't think, is Morpheus? Not from the U. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's just US. Off the top of my head, number 4 is Nagato. He is not American for sure. You're from Eastern Europe? Oh, okay. Dr. Z is number 5, not American. I don't know where Meso is from. Amnesiac 75, not American. Merlin 75, not American. I don't know everyone off it. I was 5XP. I didn't go. Your active participation by... Only US on vertical streams, Thunder. This is not a vertical. Vertical streams are like shorts live streams. Like, you know, if you're ever scrolling shorts, there'll be a live. It's not a short live stream. It's a live stream. I ain't from your shitty country, Amnesiac. I don't know. Okay. They either had pale faces, withered skin, or festering bodies. None of them looked alive. Not literally with a vertical camera. What do you... Okay, when you thought... Okay, what do you mean metaphorically vertical? What does that mean, username? I don't know, Nagato. Corpses. A beyonder creature is driving these corpses to build a palace for it. Klein cast his gaze and past them and saw a dark cave that led deep underground. A beyonder creature is driving these corpses to build a palace for it. Oh, sorry, Dr. Z. A Beyonder creature is driving these corpses to build a palace for it. I feel like palaces are... I would convert that to, like, probably the lawyer pathway, no? Am I crazy? Because, like, lawyer pathway, you know, emperor, palace, you know, subjects. I mean, maybe animals count as subjects too. I don't know. Oh, okay. Awesome, Ezra. Feathers, corpses. This instantly reminded Klein of the products of the numinous episcopate's artificial death. This zone's sovereign won't be weak. He made a judgment. I tried to find some. At that moment, Alger, who had been carefully observing, said, "I've never seen such a situation. I'm not sure of the level of Beyonder creature. Why don't we circle around it and choose a target we have more confidence in?" His instincts told him that something extremely dangerous was waiting. Klein heaved a sigh of relief and said, "Will this be impolite?" as he chuckled. Just as he said that, the land quaked as though a creature beneath was rolling over in its bed. "807, mediocre luck." Sensing the land's quake... Sensing the land's quake, Alder's heart tightened as he glanced at Gehrman, using his actions to replace his words. Anyways, can we end this chapter? Let's see why in chapter 1. We can talk about it, Morpheus, okay? The sound of the winds howled beside him, allowing him to run more easily and quickly to the side. Okay, bye, Dr. Z. Oh, fuck me. No. Bye, username. It's twice now. Oh, yes, 807. Yes. Mediocre luck? No, come on. Sensing the land quake, Alder's heart tightened as he glanced at Gehrman. The sound of the wind howled beside him, allowing him to run more easily. The reason why Alder had done so was because he was worried that Gehrman would suddenly go mad and decide to hunt the terrifying creature. If that were to happen, even if they clinched victory, it would be disadvantageous for the future. As an experienced sailor, he knew that a decisive action spurred companions who remained indecisive into following. Upon seeing this, Klein heaved a sigh of relief as he widened his stride and followed behind the hanged man. I think so, Nagito. Upon seeing this... No, wait. I think it stays there for... I don't know. Last time it stayed there at 150 for a while, and then it eventually did go up, so I don't know. Upon seeing this... no. Following that, he sensed a strong wind blow at his feet, thrusting him forward. This instantly doubled his speed. Amidst the rustling sound, Klein and Alder ran out of the sparse woods and circled around the flank of the eerie darkness. At this moment, their heartbeat suddenly slowed, as though it was as though they had been engaging in intense exercise, but were in a state of reverie. Klein immediately felt his body turn cold as an inexplicable and baffling sense of gloom arose. Meanwhile, he saw the light from Alder's lantern be swallowed. I think 150 is a changing point. It's a qualitative change. In the depths of the dark underground cave, a thick, humongous serpent snaked out. It had dark green scales with exaggerated eyes that seemed to burn with fire. In between its scales were white feather covered in yellow oily stains. Along its back was a pair of thick wings that could be spread. While slithering and flying, this giant serpent raised its body high, coiling itself around the thick tree, extending its pitch-black tongue. It stared intently as the two figures that had barged into the surrounding area. Around it, the trees were rapidly withering along with the weeds. Countless corpses burrowed out of the soil as invisible shadows surged to the side. Feathered serpent. This is interesting, because serpent in my mind, as you say, white feather with yellow oil? No. This is interesting, because snake in my mind is connected to the monster pathway, because the snake of Mercury. But the feathers are of the death pathway from the Numinous Episcopate, artificial death thing. In the southern continent, it was a symbol of holiness. It was the emblem of the descendants of death, the Eggers family. Oh shit. So Klein's probably gonna... Oh, yes, you're right, Romero. So wait, is Klein gonna come back here later with Azek? Klein and Alger didn't pause as they held back the coldness of their bodies and their slowing heartbeats. Under the intense wind, they charged into the depths of the dark forest. The duo's heartbeats gradually returned to normal as the coldness of their body dispersed. At the ending of Volume 3? Yeah, I remember that Nagito. That was from the Numinous Episcopate Angel, yeah, I think. Hey, United, how you doing, man? Klein's spiritual intuition told him the danger had passed. He slowed down his pace and turned to glance back. He calmly said while facing the depths of the darkness, "A demigod-level feathered serpent." Demigod level. Don't worry about it. The Beyonder creature here are very territorial. Unless they wish to hunt, they will not enter other zones. Especially when it's near the mountain. That feathered serpent wouldn't chase us. The Beyonder creatures here are very strong, Klein nodded. No, there are also many weak ones. I've been here at night before. I've only discovered the traces left behind by Beyonder creatures at the demigod level without encountering them. I actually encountered one this time. See the difference between demigod and mid-sequence Beyonders? Not only the existence of cosmos. Yeah. Morpheus, no. No. Not like that, Morpheus, no. Such matters are mainly about luck. The chances of this happening aren't too high. As a seafarer, being able to calculate was a necessity. Are you looking down on me, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck? Klein gave a self-deprecating laugh. Absolute judgments often result in opposite results. When translated into Earth speak, it was, "Don't raise death flags." In fact, if it wasn't a feathered snake at a demigod level, and instead was at something at a sequence 5, Klein would happily bully it. After all, with Azek's copper whistle in hand, the Beyonder creatures in the death pathway would easily lose at least half their combat strength. Klein is like, bro, if you were like a little bit weaker, and by a little bit I mean like a qualitative change weaker, I would beat your ass, okay? As for encountering a Beyonder creature at the demigod level, he wasn't too alarmed, because the Hanged Man had previously mentioned, and he had made the corresponding preparations. He had the Fate Siphon Charm, 3 pages of demigod level powers in Leimano's Travel, and the ability to travel. Although it wasn't necessarily the case that he could resist a demigod, it would be enough to help him to create opportunities to escape, as long as I don't encounter angels. After hearing Gearman, Alger was puzzled, because this adventure was clearly informing him to be more careful and cautious. A cold and crazy fellow? That's right. If he was just crazy, he wouldn't live until today. Alger looked up at the sky as he tried hard to look past the mist. After 2 minutes, He retracted his gaze and pointed. We'll head in that direction. We'll head in that. Klein had long drawn his iron-black death knell. He allowed the muzzle to naturally point downwards as he silently followed alongside. Jesus Christ. After traveling the extremely dim forest for a while, Alder stopped, looked to his left, and said, "If we head forward more, there'll be an illusory chime tree. I hope to handle it by myself. The second creature we encounter will be handled by you. I won't involve myself. Unless you can't handle it alone." Alder swallowed the second half of that sentence. He wasn't like the hunters who were often seen at sea, people who couldn't hold their tongues. The main beyonder ingredient that Miss Justice needs, the Hanged Man, has quite a bit of adventuring experience under his belt. Oi, guys, enough. He knows that being frank at times is more useful than concealing matters, and that negotiating is more effective than scheming. Okay, Clyde nodded. If you can't deal with it, it's best you shout for help, otherwise I'll treat it as your persistence. The style of this crazy adventurer is different from hunters, but in certain aspects they are certainly similar. Alder drew a breath and continued forward. As they walked, they heard the weak chime sounds. Wait, I don't know how much. Yeah. Okay, so the max it allows is for 1440p. I don't think any more than that is probably necessary, eh? I mean, I can bump it up to 4K. I don't know what the impact of that on my internet looks like. I can only watch HD. Yeah, I have it set to do no more at 1440p. I feel like any more is. I mean, at that point, I'm just bullying my my internet should be able to support it on good, generally. But again, you guys know that occasionally my internet is like phenomenal when it works, and then at times I'll just be like, ugh, and just give out altogether. So I don't know. I only watched. Okay. As they walked, they heard weak chiming sounds, and they felt as though they were home. Their bodies and mind at ease. Want to have good internet? Yeah. Klein sensed that his weariness was melting away in an irreversible manner. No matter how much he tried, he couldn't tense up. Damn. Performance issues. It's not uncommon with men of your age, Klein. Don't worry about it. Alder no longer looked as steady as before. The eyes of his rugged face were slightly red. It was unknown if he had recalled something that caused him to plunge into an emotional state. I wonder what the Hanged Man looks like when he's crying. It must be terrifying. Klein couldn't help but muse. At this moment, Alder said, "Leave it to me." Just as he said that, he put down the lantern and slightly turned the sinister ring on his left thumb. He made the protruded thorn that looked like it was stained with old bloodstains turn brighter. This was his mystical item, Whip of Mind. Oh wait, who did Alder buy this from? Its side effect was to place the wearer in a constant state of headache, one so bad that the wearer would yearn to slam their head into a wall. However, at that moment, the excruciating headache made Alder maintain his lucidity amidst the chimes without being hypnotized. At times, a side effect might actually provide benefit to the wearer. As Alder remained poignant, he took out a wooden box from his pocket and snapped it open. Inside was a grey rat. The Hanged Man wishes to use the rat as bait to attract the illusory chime tree's attention before taking the opportunity to attack. Only that he acted like he paid more? Oh, okay. No, I just remembered that, I remember the name being mentioned, so I thought maybe he bought it from the Tarot Club. Okay, that's fine. No worries. Not bad. He made adequate preparations. He already had a detailed plan ahead of time. Klein guessed the hanged man's thought process. As Alger held up the rat and shook it when his expression suddenly turned, the grey rat was no longer moving. It wasn't breathing and it was cold. Back when they encountered the demigod-level feathered serpent, although Alger was in a state of periphery of the entity's focus and had escaped, the grey rat he carried with him was only an ordinary animal. So it perished. It's dead. Mr. Hangman now understands a principle. Plans often can't keep up with change. Damn, R.I.P. rat, yo. His luck is mediocre. Upon seeing this scene, Klein couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth. He wanted to laugh, but he didn't make a sound, afraid that he would destroy his persona. Such situations were rare to the experienced and meticulous hanged man. Rip Rudius. Jesus Christ, Romero. Alger quickly reined in his emotions and proceeded forward with the grey rat. Klein bent down and reached out for the lantern as he followed behind. The chimes grew clearer as it made them more and more silent, with the urge to run towards it becoming greater. We have art for this? You're kidding. We have art for the rat? How to Train Your Dragon remake? Oh, that's awesome, man. Okay. Okay, I will definitely check that out then, Bullseye. Thanks, man. It's more than just the rat, but yes. Okay. After taking another step forward, Klein saw the strange tree. Above its brownish-green trunk were thin cracks. Deep inside each crack was a darkness that looked as though different eyes were growing inside. The branches that extended outwards had chime-like metal grey objects hanging in front of them. They were flailing, they were swaying automatically, letting out the melodious sounds. And on the branch closest to the trunk, there was a fist-sized, colorless, translucent fruit. Alder stared in the direction as he pressed his throat before saying to Gehrman, "It's best you cover your ears and converge your spirituality." Don't tell me what to do. It was like, I love that. Have you guys seen that have you guys seen that fucking meme where it's like, guys, like, I think going through a drive-thru or whatever, so he, like, gets his shit or whatever, and then the lady goes, last time we saw a tree, Mother Tree of Desire? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. So the lady gives him his drink or whatever, and she goes, "Have a great day," and he goes, "Don't tell me what to do." Awful singing. Oh, Alder's gonna sing? Please don't do that to us. Upon hearing the hanged man, Klein's heart skipped a beat. He had an ominous premonition as he ignored his persona, put down the lantern, and took out 2 slips of paper. He crumpled them into a ball and stuffed them into his ear. Finished island art. Bro, Ramiro, when does that end? Can you... There's a music video where Alder's sings surprisingly good. Cool. Upon seeing Gehrman do it without a question, Alder heaved a sigh of relief. He reflected on how nice it was to work with an experienced fellow. Although he was an adventurer known to be crazy, he followed reasonable instructions. When does it end, guys? Give me an answer. Motherfucker, give me a number! 8:14. Are you guys fucking nuts? You want me to do 7 more chapters? You want me to... How many chapters would that be? Keep going until you finish volume 6. Fuck you. Okay. You want me to read 11 chapters? It's peak. Okay, we'll do 8:11, Merlin. About 8:14 is like another hour. How about I make you guys a deal? Well, yeah, I'm gonna complete this arc, Morpheus. It's just a question of when, dumbass. Okay, I'll make you guys a deal. We'll do 8:14. We'll do it on the premise that I do 8:10. I do 8:10. Then I'm gonna take like a 20-minute break. I'm gonna go get some food because I'm fucking dying, okay? And then we can finish the rest. How's that? Deal? Okay, let's go. Upon hearing the hanged man, Klein's heart skipped a beat. Nope, already. Just as he was about to throw the dead rat, which retained some of its warmth at the chime tree, a tiger appeared. Amidst the melodic chimes, the tiger walked towards the strange tree normally, but its eyes were glazed over. Okay, then no reading 11 chapters. Hey there, we don't do that either, bitch. When Alger saw this, he lowered his arm and abandoned his attempt of throwing the dead rat, resisting the headache. He calmly watched as the tiger walked closer to the tree. It crouched down, raising its right claw, and bared its claws, slicing itself at the neck. Despite the oozing blood, the tiger seemed to have lost all sense of pain. It continued digging in deeper, engorging the wound before it began to skin itself. The chimes rapidly grew weakened as the branch tree came alive. It extended downwards, stabbing into the tiger's sorry, unprotected body. Alger, who was already drew out his dagger, opened his mouth, and sang hoarsely, "Break, break, break, oh thy cold grey stones, O sea. Break, 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 at the foot of thy crags, O sea." Is Romero 14th after all this? I don't fucking know. Okay. His voice had bold overtones, but it was completely out of tune. It was at complete odds with the comprehension of both humans and creatures. It was a jarring boom that had a melodic sound to it. It was so filled with the power that left one frustrated and disgusted. Meso, if you're on mobile, you won't be able to see it. You can only see it on desktop. You might be able to see it on TV, but I don't know that one. His voice was no. Meanwhile, the illusory chime tree trembled as they retracted, like they were huddling together. Following that melodious chime lessened the terrifying noise to a degree. Oh shit, Merlin, when did you become a member? Did you just become a member? Have you been a member for a while? Did I miss this? What? Has Merlin been a member for a while? Did I just not remember this? Just now? Why didn't I get a notification? What the fuck? What do you mean? What? Why does Merlin's membership not show up? What the fuck? Shit, okay, thanks Merlin. I don't know why that's not showing up. What the fuck? YouTube might actually hate him. What is this? Hold on. I mean, like, you're green and you have Roselle by you, so you're definitely a member. But why Why is your shit so fucked? What? True to both? Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Merlin. Thanks so much for the membership, dude. Holy fuck. I really appreciate that. At Alder's side, although Klein had used paper balls to stuff his ear and converge his spirituality, he felt his forehead blood vessels throb. He instantly had the urge to kill the singer and destroy everything before him. I think today was probably our biggest day for memberships ever. I think. I mean, most of that, I want to be really clear, was due to Senta. He he contributed a big chunk of it, but like that's awesome. Furthermore, his mind had the feeling of being ripped apart. His muscles and vessels felt as though they were squirming as a result. Fuck, I'm so ticked that Kami got the fucking membership because of that. Fuck that. Oh my god. Anyone else? Can I fucking take it from him and give it to someone else? It's because the OnlyFans was promised? No. No. Others charge people to sing, but the hanged man's singing charges you with death, Klein lampooned. Break, break, break. Every word Alder said burst out like waves striking reefs. Bolts of silver lightning descended in turns as the euphoric, as though in euphoric praise. I'm gonna do a vote rerun for when there's 200. Okay, no problem. No problem, Nagito. As for the silver flash, as the silver flashes lit up one after another, they smote down at the illusory chime tree, causing it to tremble incessantly. Its branches shook in a numb and random manner, making it difficult to produce the melodic, hypnotic music. Alder took this opportunity as he threw the dead rat and thrust the dagger in his hand forward. With a howling sound, the invisible blade swooshed over, slicing at the branch at the top and the nearest to the illusory chime tree trunk. No. Romero, I'm happy for him to try. I feel like I know the result of that. The colorless palm-sized tree fell as it was swept by a gaze of wind and flew into Alder's palm. He then turned around to look at Gehrman. Let's continue. He stopped speaking as though the word forward vanished from his vocal cords. At that instant, he saw Gehrman's cold expression looking somewhat warped. The whites around his irises were slightly red, as though he would unleash an attack at any moment. Alder felt tense as he said, "Let's continue forward. Let's go," Gehrman replied. Just take them now, Dr. Z. What do you mean? Unless they're specifically timed to like food or whatever. He didn't get any bark, branches, or materials that were rich with spirituality because they were bound to encounter Beyonder creatures later. Furthermore, he didn't have any so-called storage artifacts. Naturally, he left whatever space he had to worthwhile spoils. Almost got killed for singing. I know. I'm at work. I don't have them with me. Ah, shit. That sucks. But wait, you work at a pharmacy, no? I feel like you'd be able to get them. Besides, having too many things on him would only weigh him down and prevent him from displaying his agility. Only certified pharmacies can sell those? Ah, shit. Jesus. Sorry, I was trying to problem solve. Controlled substances? Ah, I see. Unfortunately, those are materials without any vitality or blood, making it impossible to enter Grizel's travel. I can let my marionette bring them, but that will be troublesome and detrimental to subsequent exploration. If the hangman continued singing for another minute or two, he couldn't guarantee that he could stop himself from getting beat up. You're fucking kidding me, dude. Just as the paper balls to stuff my... nope. Even Gehrman can't stand my singing. How should I act as an ocean songster? Alger questioned. In that environment, the two quickly proceeded forward amidst the thick trees that appeared to be covered in snakeskin as they approached the ancient ruins. Fire this guy, bro. With a seafarer beside him, Klein saved himself the trouble of using dowsing rod seeking. He focused on watching for any sudden attacks. The dark and silent environment resembled a horror story as the two proceeded forward for an unknown amount of time. They discovered that the trees were beginning to systematically become sparse. I just realized the music turned off. Give me a second. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. About to be Breaking Bad situation again. After passing through this zone, we will arrive at the periphery of the ancient ruins, Alger said. Based on my experience, it becomes more dangerous the more we approach. The signs of a demigod creature I found last time was around here. However, oddly, the periphery of the ancient ruins doesn't have any signs of the Beyonder creatures. I have no idea about inside it, though. I hate taking my vitamins. This is probably because there's an even more terrifying existence inside the ruins. The zone is its territory, so others dare not approach. Yeah, kids hate taking their medicine. Don't worry about it, Romero. It's common at your age. After proceeding forward dozens of meters, they saw a pair of ghostly blue eyes situated where the lantern's glow could reach. Yes, you're an honorary bro. You may sit on the council, but we do not grant you the title of master. Upon seeing the black... Wait, what? It was a black baboon crouched on a branch. Its fur was naturally curled, and its head grew black crystals. These crystals grew upwards in a random manner, forming a strange crown. Upon seeing the black baboon, Alger and Klein simultaneously had the urge to bow their head. They felt as though it was the ruler of a nearby region, the sovereign. The curly-haired baboon. Benson's true form. True. Sovereign. Alder relied on the excruciating headache which the whip of mind gave him to escape its influence, as he hurriedly took a step to avoid any direct clashes. He left the unknown creature to Gehrman, as they had agreed to previously. However, despite walking to the left, he nearly ended up walking forward. His legs were hobbled as though they suddenly needed crutches. Sorry, give me one quick sec. Okay, sorry. Subconsciously, Alder drew his dagger, causing sharp wind blades to swish towards the baboon. At that moment, the baboon grinned. Oh, the baboon said, "Oh, I've been waiting for this. Oh, I'm gonna make a name for myself." The wind blade suddenly changed direction in midair, moving in every direction at random to perfectly avoid the target. Oh, he's of the lawyer pathway. Upon seeing this, Klein gave up his plans on approaching through ordinary methods. His left glove instantly turned transparent as he turned invisible. Alger stopped his actions that resulted from his stress when he saw Gearman and his top hat appear behind the baboon. The distance between them was less than 5 meters. Right on the heels of that, the curly... Is this the first time you've seen someone use a side effect? I don't think so, Doctor. I can't tell you the other time, but I feel like it's been shown before. It even tried hard to raise its paw. Right on the heels of that, the curly-haired baboon's body abruptly stiffened as though it lost control of itself. It even tried hard to raise his palm, trying to dig at its eyes to distort something. At this moment, Gearman had already made use of this delay to raise the iron-black revolver and then pulled the trigger without any emotion. Oh, shit. Catlay and the Rose Bishop? What? The gunshot reverberated in the region as it extended outwards. As for the baboon, it had its head burst open, splattering blood and brain matter everywhere. The crystal at its head shattered too. Klein bent down and retracted Death Knell, which was still spewing smoke. He watched as the mutated baboon's stocky body, one that was more muscular than a human, collapsed to the group. Well, by approaching with Traveler, forcefully controlling with Wraith and seizing the opportunity to deal a lethal strike, it was an insta-kill. Klein wasn't doing this to flaunt his strength, but via his observations, he believed that the mutated baboon had unique powers, and if he didn't finish it off quickly, while it didn't understand anything about him, there was a high chance that the situation would be reversed, making the battle tricky. Besides, no one knew on such an island. On such a primitive island, it was imperative he avoided situations from escalating. Therefore, Klein possessed the mutated curly-haired baboon with a wraith. He gave up on a more reliable and unnoticeable method of controlling the spirit body threads because it took longer. Instead, he chose to cock the gun and use Death Knell to finish it off. The effects were identical to his expectations. The possible accidents that could happen midway were as he imagined. With the help of the distortion and disorder, the baboon did possess the ability to extricate itself from unfavorable situations of the Wraith's possession. It would allow the bullet's trajectory to violate the laws of physics and avoid his body. Unfortunately, its efforts had come to an abrupt halt before it could make any effects. Klein seized that brief moment to deliver a decisive blow. If he had switched to controlling spirit body threads, it might have been different. It's worth it to suffer a weakness for this. Furthermore, there's a higher chance of me being needed to use the Death Knell later. Compared to realizing what I'm afraid of in a more dangerous situation, it's better to know ahead of time. That's the better option. At that moment, under the Wraith's control, the Beyonder characteristic of the baboon rapidly appeared. Is Klein somehow able to use the Wraith to make the Beyonder characteristic appear faster? I read 31 chapters? Wow. Wraiths can't do that? Oh, cool. At this, Alger held up the lantern as he watched the scene from a distance. It took him nearly a minute to snap back to his senses. Frozen in his mind was the ultimate scene of the flare from Gearman's muzzle. The disorder they encountered in the beginning had made him understand that the Beyonder creature was of a sequence higher than the Chime Tree. It was a relatively difficult creature to deal with. Sharon did that in Volume 2. Klein can do it now? Wait, what? You did Sharon. Oh, Sharon did do that. You're right. It was a relatively difficult creature to deal with, one that required caution, and there wasn't a guarantee of success. But Gearman finished it in 3 seconds. Also, being a Sequence 5 Beyonder, the difference in their strength was unbelievable. Combining a short-distance teleportation ability and a strange power that can control an enemy for a time, along with the astonishingly potent revolver, the effects are terrifying. If I were to encounter it for the first time, I would die instantly. Even if I'm prepared, I wouldn't be able to resist it. The best solution is to use my singing to affect the surroundings. It'll prevent Gearman from successfully completing a teleport, as expected of a lunatic with a bounty of 50,000. Even without Mr. Fool's help, just him alone isn't weaker than the Admiral Hell. It's possible that he's even stronger. Oh, he's definitely stronger. Klein would probably have beaten Admiral Hell as a Sequence 6. The Admiral was so fucking lucky he ran into Klein before he advanced. Holy shit. He would have been dead as a fucking... I don't even know what an expression to use. He'd be so fucking dead. Inside the corpse of the baboon was a shattered black crystal. A faint blob of light quickly appeared and converged together, turning into a translucent pitch-black fist that was tightly clenched together. Indifferent to their thoughts, the fist produced a feeling of strength and sinisterness. The palm's lines, luster, and fingernails seemed to follow ordinary principles, but they were filled with an abnormal charm. Sequence 5, Mentor of Disorder from the Lawyer Pathway. I wonder what new weakness I received. I hope it's not too bad. Well, I can use the death knell as much as I want in the next 6 hours. As Klein muttered, he bent down to pick up the characteristic and stored it in a prepared mental container. I read like the first two words of that message, and then I was like, "There's a there's a non-insignificant chance Ramiro deletes it, so let me just wait." I'm getting better instincts. This is good. In fact, he could attempt to graze the curly-haired baboon and see if he could obtain the corresponding power of a mentor of disorder to swap away the beard of corruption. But ultimately, he gave up on that idea, since he wasn't sure what the creature had done to deserve such torture. But could he do that now? He's already dead. No, well, I guess they only need a soul, and the soul hasn't... And the soul hasn't dissipated yet, so... Spiritual intuition coming in clutch, yeah. His encounter had been an encounter on the battlefield. Ensuring his enemy's death was nothing out of the ordinary. But grazing was an excruciating pain that left the soul yearning for liberation. Klein had his own principles, and he didn't violate them. Of course, to him, creatures of lower intelligence were not the same as humans. Even if he attempted to graze it, it wasn't crossing the line. However, many of his past experiences told him that persisting to keep his principles and not relax the requirements was not only a moral question, but it also prevented him from losing control of himself. He couldn't keep pushing the envelope just because he thought it was nothing. As trivialities accumulated, it would eventually result in a mistake. In this crazy and chaotic, mysterious world, actions aren't for others to see, but for myself. A person can fool humans and deities, but not themselves. I wonder if high sequence beyonders of the spectator pathway can fool themselves. As Klein's thoughts raced, he took out Grozel's travel that he hid near his chest, intending to smear the baboon's blood on its cover. In that instant, his heart tensed up. It was a premonition of danger. And in this premonition, no scene surfaced in Klein's mind. Not good. Klein instantly found his heart wrapped in layers of shadows as everything in his eyes seemed to be covered in a layer of dark glass. Ooh, what's happening? What's happening? I don't know. Without the luxury of time to think, the glove on his left palm turned transparent once again. His figure turned invisible before he appeared beside Alger to grab his shoulder. At that instant, Alger also sensed the abnormality as he felt his heart contract and expand. Meanwhile, he saw Gearman's right hand grabbing at his shoulder. From the fingernails, it was turning gray and dull, bit by bit, just like any stone that could be found anywhere in the dark forest. His muscles and knees were turning stiff as though they no longer belonged to him. They were turning into statues? It's fucking Medusa here. What the fuck? The two figures turned transparent as they vanished from their location and entered a saturated and clearly overlapped spirit world and traversed in the direction of the ancient ruins. You're lucky Milos isn't here. You would have gotten 1.5k Gearman art. True. But also kind of sad, because he would also send a lot of other good art. So it's like a win and loss sort of thing. Suddenly, the red, green, black, and other stacked colors before Klein's eyes uniformly darkened as they produced a fine pattern that resembled raven black hair. Raven black hair. Wow, why is that an exclamation mark? A chill rose from the soils as Klein didn't hesitate to leave the spirit world with the hanged man and return to the real world, where they landed in an area mixed with rubble and weed, not as far away as most collapsed buildings. Not far away was a mostly collapsed building. Milos already prepared the art for you to see in the spoiler chat. Oh shit, okay, never mind. Aw, see? How could I take away his mod powers? I know some people don't like him, but he's so handy. He was like, damn, I can't make it. Let me just get everything ready. He's so good. How do you say no? Okay, turned up some more creepy music, okay? I know. He's just a kid and he's so responsible. He can be irresponsible at times too, but that's expected of a kid, okay? As though, through the corner of his eye, the hanged man had already turned grayish-white from the waist down, as though he had turned into a stone sculpture. Klein snapped his fingers, igniting the grass tens of meters away in preparation to leap over. At that instant, he felt his heart palpitated as his body began to tremble. The appearance of the soaring flames was terrifying to him. The death knell gave him fear of fire. No! Oh. The death knell is so useful, but it's so dog shit too. Alright, but I'm gonna cancel him for not saying the artist or something. I always know. Yeah, but username, you know the artist. How is that relevant? If you showed me a art from Van Gogh but didn't tell me it was from Van Gogh, does that take away anything? It's an actual question. I don't know. Like a lot of people think that the artist, you do sometimes tell me, fair, but I'm curious, like, and like this is a philosophical discussion, so like maybe, so like, you know, people feel differently about it, but like I don't think it matters. I think we always say that you should separate the art from the artist, right? Like they can be someone who does good stuff but is like a bad person. I don't think the bad stuff they do in their personal life should affect their art, but I think the flip side is also true. I think the art is the art. Huh. Okay, but okay. Off that. Okay. Seeing the dark glass thicken before his eyes, Klein felt a howling wind sweep him from below before he could overcome the fear. I remember when was theorized about what fears the gun could give him. Causing him and Alder to fly up. Through the invisible border, they entered the vicinity of the ancient ruins. The duo fell to the ground simultaneously, producing the sound of crashing rocks. Oh no. The thick shadow over their hearts vanished as a danger that hid in the darkness receded like the tide. His back was covered in perspiration that soaked his shirt. I got impatient and read 50 chapters. Jesus Christ, Mr. Loki. You've already read this, right, Mr. Loki? You're just doing a reread? And now he's going to tell me he's read it 84 times. Watch this. Fuck, he just said yes, no. He's the only person ever. Anytime I ever ask anyone, anytime I ever ask anyone, I'm like, have you read this, bro? They're like, yes, I've read it 7 times. And then you and Easy make 8. And I'm like... The duo fell to the ground simultaneously. The thick shadow over their hearts vanished. Klein heaved a sigh of relief as he saw the grayish-white color that spread to his elbows turn faint and recede. He felt his condition was rapidly recovering. His back was covered in perspiration. What's this, OST? It looks like it's the I'm in danger username. I haven't even completed COI. I'm reading with you guys again. Sometimes read some chapters out of you. Okay. This is, I don't know, I'm just playing like the I'm just playing the, it's from The Witcher 3. I don't know what this OST is off the top of my head. It doesn't say it either. It's just a list of the creepy and sad music of Witcher 3. I thought the red was a curtain, not the bus seat. Oh, okay. The death... And what terrified him most was that he didn't know what monster attacked him or what powers were used. What's the purple crown and number things? It's a XP system, Mr. Loki. So based on how many chat messages you send, it'll like rank you. It'll give you XP. See, Nagito, I told you 200 is not 150 is not the max. It does go up. Yeah. So based on your messages, it'll rank you. I don't know how many points you get per message. I just couldn't fucking tell you that. And it resets every stream. So like if you are low this stream, but you have it resets next stream, so you can try again. The top 3 will get that crown next to their name, and number 1 will have a purple crown, so they're easier to see. You can put the link to the OST. Oh yeah, no worries, Merlin. I'm at about minute 30, Merlin, if you're interested. I don't know, you can probably just, okay, yeah, sorry. At this moment, Alder escaped the grayish-white layer as he turned. The zone was petrifying us. The problem now lies ahead, Gehrman answered. Never have enough patience to watch live. I feel like it's a good tool from YouTube to entice engagement. It's not bad. Finish 8:10. I'm gonna, yeah, exactly, Thunder. Yeah. Alder didn't speak further as he sped up his pace, steadily walking by his side. No problem. After approaching, Klein looked at the strange building. His gaze swept the spires and stone columns. What kind of building do you think this ruin was in the past? Alder asked. Or Gehrman asked. A cathedral, Alder replied. No, I'm not ending stream now. So I'm gonna read one more. I'm gonna read 8:10, and then I'm gonna take a break for like 10-15 minutes. Okay, I need to go eat. I'm starving. And then you guys can just do whatever you want. I mean, not whatever you want, you know, control yourselves. You guys are generally pretty good. I'm not gonna give you shit. A cathedral? We came to the same judgment, Klein muttered to himself. At that, yeah, Merlin, I don't know why, for some reason it gets stuck at 150 for a while, and then it allows you to go further. We're reading until 8:14, Mr. Loki. Everyone will not shut the fuck up until I read there, so I was like, fine. 8:14 is the end of the island arc, so fine. Oh. At that moment, the tiny amount of crimson moonlight that penetrated the mist had scattered onto the collapsed building. Compared to before, it was a lot richer in color, almost approaching the color of blood. Yeah, it's nice. Next arc to fun is fun to start. Oh, okay, cool. Unhinged, how's it going, man? Enough. Where did you explore previously? Klein asked. As he spoke, Klein glanced at the lantern in the hanged man's hand, which remained unshattered despite all the ordeals. Although the flame was contained by a thick glass and metal frame, it still left him a little afraid. Gearman pointed there. All that was left of the building was its main structure. It was impossible to know what it originally looked like. The only things that could be determined was that it had thick walls with narrow windows, and the building's scale and its magnificence. Furthermore, it once had a spire and a clock tower. It had a Spartan facade and ancient architecture. Next arc is one of my top 5 mini arcs. Nice, okay. This is an architectural style from the 4th epoch. There are records of these in the church's canon. It's said that in that period of time, the churches used to build their cathedrals in a widespread fashion. Its greatest trait is the temple found above and the catacombs found below. Life and death were both unified here. However, I cannot confirm the cathedral's interior as I described. I've never ventured deep. It is slow. Okay. We can just... What? Chat is disabled. You're taking the piss, right? Hold on. Curious if this works. Okay. Let's just do this. Fine. Now it should be updating anymore. No, there was lag username. The old one doesn't update quite as fast, but this one I'll do. I have 2 chats running on top of each other. I only display one of them, obviously, but I have 2 of them just in case if one of them bugs out for whatever reason. I have a second. If they both fuck up, then I can't. Fucking, I guess it is what it is. But I have a contingency. I'm learning from Klein. I have contingency plans. Oh. This might actually be the architectural style of the 3rd epoch. Klein made a guess, is in a straight line. The duo quickly moved up the grayish-white stairs that were ridiculously high as they arrived at the door's opening. Klein wasn't in a... Oh, wait, is that... Wait, is that Easy's dog, Merlin? Oh, for fuck. Okay, someone please explain the XP system. I feel like I've explained it 9 times. That's the I'm in danger meme, Mr. Loki. Suddenly, he flipped a golden coin and operated... Wait, what? No, hold on. Klein wasn't in a... They saw remnants of stone columns that extended upwards towards the center. Klein wasn't in a rush. He reached his left thumb into his pocket and took out a gold coin as he allowed it to weave between his fingers. Suddenly, he flipped the gold coin and said, "How did you determine that deep inside this cathedral is something of value that is not less than a card of blasphemy?" After he said that, he looked at the gold coin that had fallen into his palm before putting it away. Alja pointed inside. "I've said that with my strength, my strength was inferior to Kilongo's. I didn't go as deep as he did. I have no idea what he saw, other than judgments that there was something extremely precious and important inside from his remarks. Furthermore, it was something that only a true Sequence 5 could obtain." Susie? Oh, it's Susie. I apologize. Oh, wait. I thought it was... Oh, it's Susie. Oh, wait. That's... that's my emoji. Sorry. We don't use the Susie emoji very much, and it's relatively new, so I forgot about it. I apologize. No, you know what? Hold on. Fuck you guys. Okay, if someone fucking asks about the XP system now, just read it up top. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm not explaining it any more times. I feel like I've spent like 30 minutes just doing that at this point. Okay. However, the murals near the entrance and the marks on the ground might be able to explain something. Klein nodded and walked towards the dark door's opening that the crimson moonlight was unable to illuminate. The black trench coat he wore flustered behind him as Alger held up the lantern and clenched the dagger while following behind. Username, that was, man, that hit me in my soul. I'm not gonna lie to you. Passing through the opening, Klein used the crimson moonlight that shone in from the opening at the dome to see the hall of considerable depth up ahead. A few of the ancient stone columns supporting it already snapped. Bro, why did I type it? It's just making it worse. I know you're all kidding, but this is crazy. Passing through the opening, Klein used the crimson... Okay. Moonlight, yeah, already came. At the end wasn't an altar, nor were there staircases. It was completely dark and difficult to detail. It appeared as though it led underground. It isn't a temple above and a catacomb below. The temple is underneath in the catacomb. It's impossible to determine that. We'll only know by venturing down. Klein glanced around and discovered side paths along the two sides, but the regions they had led to already had collapsed, but with no usable path. The murals near the entrance. How is Nagito keeping his crown? I don't know. Nagito and Username and Dr. Z are actually tied, in fairness. And Merlin, actually. They're all tied at 225. The murals near the entrance and the marks on the ground. He recalled what the hanged man had said. He then took 2 steps diagonally before releasing the invisible wraith. With his night vision, he began observing the mural. The mural's background was of a towering and magnificent mountain. At its peak was a gigantic cross covered in a lustrous glow. In front of the cross were grand and abnormal figures clustered together, angels with 2, 4, or 6 wings. This. He had seen a similar mural before, in Amon's mausoleum. Oh. When he focused again, Klein quickly noticed the differences. There weren't 2 infants that represented Amon and Adam, nor were there any 12-winged angels. The grand figures in front of the cross held its arms to its chest as it held an ancient Spartan slate. Give me one quick... Fuck, sorry. Give me one quick second. Fuck. Okay, sorry. Just copy paste everything? Yeah, I know. Okay. Copy paste the whole chapter. Okay. The slate was drawn in an extremely indistinct manner, yet it felt both ancient and young, holy and sinister. It was an extreme contradiction. No, stop, no. Stop, okay. Wait, what? What is this mural? Copy paste everything. What is happening? I don't understand. Slate. Klein's pupils dilated as a specific term flashed through his mind. Blasphemy, Slate. It's likely that ASG, the Lord that created everything, which the City of Silver worships. Indeed, the blasphemy slate is related to him. I wonder if this is the first blasphemy slate or the second. Klein roughly guessed at the cathedral's worshipped entity, and he began to believe that the depths of the ruins hid items that were very valuable. The plot thickens! He drew Signor's gaze and allowed the marionette to turn to face the ground. Apart from the slate being covered in cracks and some odd marks remaining, they were dark red in color, smaller than a human's forehead. Nope, the chat's live username. But I do have moderation on, so... They overlapped with one another at times and extended all the way to the end of the hall. At that instant, a scene appeared in Klein's mind. Devout believers were prostrated on the ground as they proceeded forward, slamming their foreheads onto the ground, leaving blood. Noticing Gehrman look around without any scrutiny, Alger probed, ASG? At that moment, he felt a baffling sensation of cold wind blowing from Gehrman's side. He suspected that hidden around them were shadows or wraiths. Recalling the strange restraints the mutated curly-haired baboon was under, Alger made a vague theory. Upon hearing the hanged man's question, Klein wanted to chuckle in reply. You can also call him the Lord that created everything, the omniscient, omnipotent God, but he felt such a tone was closer to the fool and not Gehrman. It's not hard to tell, Klein nodded. Alder silently heaved a sigh of relief as he felt a sense of anticipation for the item buried deep underneath. Wait, so the item that's hidden deep underneath, that's for Gehrman, right? Gehrman gets to keep that, or is Alger getting halfsies actually did a lot of work. And the two simultaneously decided to walk towards the end of the hall. As they approached, Klein saw the staircase leading downwards. An underground area, he asked succinctly. I can't be sure. I've never gone down. Although Kilongos attempted to venture in, he returned in less than 10 minutes to find his aura relatively weak. You seem to be very familiar with him, Klein said in passing. If it were anyone else, Alger would have pretended not to hear it, but deep inside his heart, he knew Gehrman was the fool's blessed. His question could possibly represent the intention of that existence, so he needed to view them seriously. We were fellow townsmen, and we were servants of the same cathedral. The priest there was an easily irritated person who enjoyed punishing servants. Kilongos couldn't bear it and escaped to become a pirate. So there was a past. The hanged man is a man of stories. As their footsteps echoed, they were extremely light, but still sounded obvious in such an environment. The two of them came to the end of the staircase and saw the opening. On both sides of the opening were shadows standing there silently. Klein and Alger halted at the same time as they looked at the two shadows, only to discover that they were two stone statues. Both men, with their surface being grayish-white, one wore full-body armor that resembled a barrel, and the other wore a jacket that looked more contemporary. Their expressions were writhing in pain as their eyes protruded as though they were glaring at something. Upon seeing this, Klein realized something that he recalled the encounter outside. As he recalled the encounter outside, he and Alger had shown signs of petrification. I hope you don't agree more with him, Dr. Z, because you're probably the most likely to get banned here now. Alright, bye, username. He and Alger had also shown signs of petrification, but they extricated themselves, or they might have also become statues. Don't tell me they're humans who ran into the same situation. If we had been petrified, would we be moved down here? The source of the terrifying power isn't afraid of these ruins. This is different. Klein felt inexplicable horror as his scalp tingled. He controlled his emotions and turned his head to look at the door at the hanged man. He discovered that the pupils of the boorish man at sea had similarly dilated, and it was clutching the dagger tightly. And I spoil no more than average? There's no way that's true. Why can't you let go of the past? What is the past, like 2 weeks? Uh-huh. The hanged man came to the same conclusion without me needing to speak. No, hold on. Yes. He controlled his emotions and turned to look at the hanged man. Klein pointed at the door opening and said there might be even more statues inside. Alger nodded and said, well, let's hope we don't see ourselves. If we're convinced that we have escaped the effects of the petrification only to see our statues in this underground area, that would be quite the horror story, huh? Klein thought for 2 seconds and said to the hanged man, "Do you have night vision?" His true meaning was that the light of the lantern was especially eye-catching in the dark catacomb. Therefore, it was best to extinguish the light if they could. Therefore, Alger read between the lines, "Yes." Then why are you still using the lantern, dumbass? Alger then replied, "Firstly, it's to misdirect the enemy into instinctively believing that I don't have night vision because of my lantern. When they destroy my lantern and try hard to create a dark environment, I'll give them a pleasant surprise." Very clever. It's been so long since the last time I spoiled. In fairness, you actually have been very good since the start of Volume 3. So actually, maybe it's been a while. You know what, Dr. Z, I apologize. Let bygones be bygones. I apologize. You're right. Alger continued, "Second, it's to avoid situations like the City of Silver. There might be extreme danger hiding in complete darkness." Makes sense. Klein didn't insist that Alger extinguish the lantern as they stepped past the 2 stone statues. Under their 2 gazes, he stepped into an entrance that led underground. He didn't know what the petrified statues represented, nor did he know if they were completely dead. Klein didn't attempt to shatter them to obtain beyond their characteristics and mystical items. Okay. How about we read one more before I take a break, okay? Because I'm really interested. Can we read one more before the break? Is that fine? You guys said 8:11 was a better place to end anyway, so let's just read. Okay. Fuck. Okay, one more. Let's go. No, bitch. Fucking. Sorry, my chapter. Okay. After passing through my fucking mouse is. Oh, okay. After passing through the door opening and going underground, there wasn't a sliver of natural light in front of Klein and Alger. Alger raised his lantern in his hand, lighting up the area ahead. Klein took a glance and discovered at least 6 stone statues of both sexes. They were entirely grayish-white. Klein took in a glance and discovered at least... Nope, already read this. These statues included elves, giants, humans that had ancient dress sense. Apart from their frozen expressions of pain and despair, there wasn't anything else. Could this also be from the second epoch or something? From when... I'm assuming it was the second... It was the second epoch where ASG was fighting the gods or whatever, right? Klein felt a chill run down his back when he saw his eyeballs watching him without moving. Having made the connection that they were once alive, he felt the darkness ruled the depths of this passage. It was as though a terrifying monster had widened its mouth as it lay in wait. Reining in their stirring emotions, Klein and Alger remained silent as they passed through the grayish-white statues. They proceeded forward. After walking for more than 10 seconds, Klein didn't need to use Senor's night vision to see the damaged and dark murals, thanks to the lanterns. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I made a mistake, okay? I forgot to copy-paste the murals stuff from last chapter. We'll do that later, okay? Okay, this blurry and allowing them to recognize what was being depicted. There was no doubt focused on the cross that glowed and the grand figure that stood before it. This blurry and solemn figure either faced cities that had been flooded, stepped upon fractured lands, or looked upon the cosmos, where it looked locked eyes with a pair of evil and maniacal eyes. It's too late now, Morpheus. It's too late now. We're locking in, okay? Fuck the title. When the apocalypse happens, ASG will rescue the world? Or somewhat similar? Or perhaps it's just plagiarism from both sides. If you forget that, you're gonna read it. Okay, let me just read it. The picture in the catacombs. I'm sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Huh. This is somewhat similar to the murals that the little son and the others found in the True Creator's temple. Or perhaps it's just plagiarism from both sides, with no one giving up on working towards this goal. After all, it's to emphasize that they were once the Messiah and a deity worthy of one's faith. Klein's gaze swept across the wall as he entered the depths of the passageway. Wait, is the final boss actually ASG's resurrection? Maybe Amon ain't the final boss, and ASG is the final boss. Because the returning of the being above the grave, the being above the spirit world is the sign of the apocalypse, and he comes to rescue the apocalypse, and Klein might be the bringer of the apocalypse. Alger was also observing the murals and said, I suspect that the true creator, fallen creator's description of himself has references to some of the contents here. Indeed, everyone has the same views. Klein chuckled. I won't be surprised if we see matters related to the true creator up ahead. There might be a particular connection between him and the creator that the City of Silver believes in. Alger agreed with Gehrman's judgment. The duo continued ahead as they tried to soften their steps. However, they were still echoes that reverberated in that extremely silent environment. At this moment, Klein's spiritual perception was triggered. He immediately took 2 steps forward and put himself in front of Alger, blocking out most of the lantern's light. Less than 2 seconds later, he heard a dull sound emitting. Thump, thump, thump. The ground shook gently as the sound became clearer, and Klein saw a figure nearly 4 meters tall walk out. It was also grayish-white in color, with armor plating patterns engraved on its body. Its head had goat horns and a mouth that resembled a hound. Its half-open mouth was revealing fangs. And what attracted attention the most was its pair of eyes that burned red, with a pair of 6 white membraned wings. The monster held an 8-meter-long stone trident. It shook the land with every step. Although Klein hadn't seen it before, he recognized what it was. It was a 6-winged gargoyle. Its core crystal was one of the main ingredients of a marionettist, and the beyonder powers it possessed was extremely special and indefensible. Based on its external build and from what it's made out of, it definitely has some extremely potent combat strength while not being afraid of most damage. All it needs is to cause terrifying damage, is to storm over and perform a downward slash. Klein relaxed his left hand and wasn't in a rush to react. He and Alger remained on the spot, using one's body and the other using his clothes to conceal the lantern's light. The 6-winged gargoyle didn't look towards the duo and instead passed through the passageway. Indeed, it's not very perceptive. No wonder Kilongos was able to venture deep down and return. Klein proceeded forward. When the footsteps were indetectable, he went past the crossroads. In fact, with his current strength and gear and his understanding of his target, killing a gargoyle wasn't something too dangerous. Furthermore, the hanged man could provide him with help. The reason why he gave up was because he had no idea how many six-winged gargoyles there were in the catacombs. Once a battle ensued, a large commotion could result in them swarming over. When that happened, they could only escape. In addition, if they were to stir the existence in the ruins that even nearby Beyonder creatures were afraid of, the problem would only worsen. Curbing one's greed was a premise of a risky exploration. Alder was also rather pleased at the adventurer's calm and rational actions. His suspicion was that Gehrman was under the orders of the Fool, thus resisting his urge to attack. The calmer he appears, the crazier he will be when he encounters his true target. As this thought flashed through Alder's mind, he followed Gehrman downwards. Bro, after all this, you couldn't just go... Maybe he's actually kind of a chill guy. MT, you can't possibly be asking this question. It's on the screen, brother. Shido, how's it going, man? Good morning. Happy to have you. You should really leave now. I don't know. I feel like there's some really big spoilers coming. I think everyone's really excited. So I don't stick around, okay? Okay, yes, that. Alder nodded and said, it might also be a temp, bro. Amon is a man, that's true. Okay. The murals on both sides remained undamaged, but they were still describing the greatness and holiness of ASG. Okay. See you, man. Finally, Klein and Alder arrived at the end of the passageway. Here, there was an 8-meter-tall stone double door. It depicted various symbols of death, sleep, end, new birth, and beginnings. I feel like that's describing ASG's life cycle. ASG died when he was fighting with the gods. Now he's sleeping, and then the end, the apocalypse will happen, and ASG will be reborn, or new birth, and beginnings. A tomb, Klein said to Alder. Alder nodded and said it might also be a temple. Clearly, he was wondering if it was both a temple and a tomb. The grayish-white stone door. What if it's not ASG? Wait. What if there's a... Oh my god, there's a tomb. I think I know what's gonna happen. I think I know what's gonna happen. If this turns out right, I'm a fucking prophet. If this is wrong, I've lost all my aura points. I think Adam is down there. I think Adam is gonna be another variable. Maybe Adam is down there. If I'm right, profit. If I'm wrong, I lost all my aura points, okay? Let's go. Going all in, are we? All in, baby. All in. The grayish-white stone door that the duo, before the duo wasn't completely shut. Divine it? It's frankly, oh my god, it's actually frankly, never mind, you're right, I apologize. Okay, really quickly, let's just divine it, let's just divine it, let's just divine it, okay? Jesus Christ, what? 7,000? Oh fuck, I actually can't. Oh, it's gonna be interference because it has to do with the King of Angel. Every time I do this, it's always interference. Hidden in the tomb that Klein and Alder are currently exploring is Adam. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I don't want to waste any more time. Why Adam? Because I feel like it's too early for ASG to show up. I feel like he's an endgame boss sort of thing. And we know of one of his main two sons, but we don't know of the second one. I mean, Adam could be fucking... I don't know where the fuck Adam is. It was heads, it's true. So I feel like ASG, it's too early. But Adam we can do. Okay. A tomb, Klein said to Alger. It might also be a temple. Alger nodded. Clearly, he was wondering if it was both a temple and a tomb. The grayish-white stone door before the door wasn't completely shut. It was cracked open with a tiny gap that allowed a child passage. Alger looked at the floor and walked over, putting the lantern down, securing his dagger and pressing both his hands to one side of the door. He silently drew breath as he bent his knees. His arm muscles were swelling. Suddenly, the gap widened significantly. Klein pricked up his brows when he saw this, feeling somewhat astonished, because the hanged man's pushing of the door didn't produce any sound at all. He didn't doubt an ocean songster's strength, but he didn't believe that it could prevent the stone door from making contact with the ground. As he moved his gaze, Klein saw a pool of slightly sticky liquid gathered under the door. He quietly produced a lubricant effect. The hanged man is so meticulous. Is this the power of a seafarer or an ocean songster? He probably used the powers of a windblast to control the air cushion, thus resulting in a silent door opening. Although he approached the stone door, he wasn't eager to enter it. Through the widened gap, he observed the scene ahead. Reflected in the eyes of the wraith was the corner of the room where there was a row of grayish-white stone coffins. It is indeed a catacomb. As for whether it's also a temple, I don't know. As Klein thought, he took out Leimano's travel with his left hand, and on it were beyonder powers that were suitable to handle matters related to Death's domain. Meanwhile, he used a silver dagger to quickly create a wall of spirituality, and sealed the iron cigar case to prevent Azek's copper whistle from causing the dead to rise. Alger also drew his dagger again and placed his left palm over it before sliding his palm outwards. Amidst the light cracking sound, the dagger swirled with bolts of lightning. Having made his preparations, Klein, who was acting as the crazy adventurer Gehrman, was the first to pass through. Of course, Wraith Signor had already acted as a scout by circling the tomb before he entered. To a marionnettist, there was no need to take risks on so many matters once they had a marionette. The tomb's ceiling was soaked with water droplets, a clear indication of the humidity. The room was divided into two regions. Each had 12 grayish-white stone coffins. In the middle was a circular region where there appeared to be a beautiful, complicated picture on the ground. Klein didn't approach it as he stopped Alger. He then controlled the Signor to appear as it quickly floated to the spot above the region. Admiral of Blood. Alger's face twitched. It was as though he had already guessed. Although he had already guessed, he couldn't stop his subconscious reactions when he saw it. At this moment, the Signor descended and was fully able to take in the scene. The picture had dark, dull colors with a background being filled with blurry figures. In the foreground was a long table. On the table was a figure with a resplendent cross glowing from it, and the surrounding figures were three people shrouded in shadows. One was handsome and youthful, another solemn and bold, and the last looking wise with his white beard. The three pairs of eyes exuded an indescribable sense of evil, just like the actions of their owners. One of them had ripped off the figure's arm, stuffing it into their mouths and gnawing at it as the blood was filling his mouth. Another held up the brain and sucked at its juices, while the last dug out a beating heart, chewing at it in a ravenous manner. In contrast, the figure's chest was a long and wide crack. Sitting cross-legged in there was a dark and sinister infant who was masticating on the intestines that had fresh blood gushing down. These four entities seemed to sense someone prying into their act as they looked up in unison, as though they were staring at any being that placed their eyes on the picture. Who the fuck said this was a good place to end on? Who the fuck said this was a good place to end on? You guys are bitches. What do you mean you'd have me end here? The last chapter was so much better. This is okay. You guys are fucking liars. You intended for me to get here so that I'd keep reading. Roy, you fucked me. I'm so hungry. Fucking bitch. I'm so hungry, you assholes. Fuck. Piece of shit. Okay, artwork really quickly, and then I gotta I will eat later. Fuck you guys. I'm so ticked. Fuck. Okay. Jesus Christ. This is so terrible. Okay, hold on. Can someone send me the creation myth? I'm curious, does it say anything about what the intestines, what the heart, what the arms, and what the brain becomes? I'm curious. Jesus Christ. That's disgusting. Oh, this is so disgusting. What the fuck, dude? Oh, you guys are horrible people. Why would you do this to me? Who the was I wrong? Is this ASG? Well, I guess I'm still not wrong because he's not here. But is this ASG? You have it in... Yeah, I have it in my notes. I know that. Oh, wait. I have... Oh, yes, you're right. Let me just... Fine. Fuck it. Let me just put it in my notes. Oh, you guys are so mean. Creation... how would I find this? Heart? What would I control F to find it? Oh, yes. Okay, I got it. Okay. So the creator woke from chaos and shattered the darkness, creating the first layer. His body became the land of stars. One of his eyes became the sun, the other became the crimson moon. Some of his blood rushed into the sea and reverse. His heart turned into the giants. So whoever's eating the heart is maybe Ormir. His brain turned into the dragons. Maybe the person eating is Ankvald. His ears turned into that. His mouth and teeth turned into whatever. And his remaining... His small and large intestines and the evil parts of his body turned into devils. Who is the devil god? Who is the devil god? Farbauti, I think it is. Is it Farbauti? Do I have that right? So heart, brain, intestines, and what the arms? Do I know what the arms are? Do I know what the arm is? Is arm in here? Is this... Am I fucking... I don't know. I don't know who's eating the arms. But that's my guess. Maybe it's the ancient gods that... So maybe the original creator died. They ate him. The ASG was his recoming. And now Klein is also his and then he lost? Bro, how are you the original creator and you get nuked twice? You're cooked. Just at that point, I think once it's 2-0, I think you just take the loss. No, you just say, fuck it, I die. Yeah, no, I know it doesn't refer to... I know, I'm saying, like... You know what I mean? If you're the true creator... If you're the original creator, you created everything. And then they fucking kill you. You know what? You're having a bad day. You're off your game. No problem. You know, you come back. You're like, all right, bitches, time for a rematch. And then you die again. I think you just go, call it quits. You know, fuck them. I lost. No problem. This motherfucker's trying to come back a third time. Yeah, these are. So the intestines would be Farbauti. The heart would be, I don't know, whatever, I already calculated this. This looks like the god of knowledge and wisdom, though, no? With the long beard? Am I crazy? ASG had killed all the ancient gods? So where is he? What happened to him? He killed all of them? So what happened to him? You're telling me he killed all of them and then he, what, died of old age? What are you trying to tell? What do you mean? I would assume he killed some of them and then died to the others. Alder singing. Your kid. Okay, you guys should have sent this first. Oh, Jesus, this looks... Gehrman's like, motherfucker, say another word. Say another word, I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. This is terrifying. Bro, doesn't this baby look like the thing from, in this one? Doesn't it look like the thing from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? I can't remember what it's... Greed? I don't know what that's called. You know what I mean? Anyone seeing it? No, not Greed. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. Yes. Okay. Okay, fuck it. Let's just keep reading. I don't even care. Fuck it. I'll eat later. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go to bed. I don't even know. Fuck yeah. Oh my god, I hate you guys. Okay. Okay, let's go. 812. Myth from another perspective. The creation myth, perhaps? Maybe I'm gonna get another version of it. I fucking... Jesus Christ, I'm so hungry. I'm so tired. Okay. Upon clearly seeing the picture through the seigneur's eyes, Klein's heart raced so loudly that he could hear it. As a seer who was good at interpreting revelations, he felt his blood gush to his head. Even so, there was an ethereal voice sounding in his ear. The figure that's dismembered and eaten is likely represents ASG, the Lord that created everything, the omniscient, omnipotent God in the City of Silver. So I'm right. The original creator dies. They all come into being. He resurrects. I assume he fucking dies again, because he ain't here, brother. He fucking gonzo. So someone killed him again. And now I assume he's trying to come back again through Klein. Bro, seriously, I'm telling you, if that theory is true, he needs to just kill himself at this point. Original creator, you get him nuked twice? It ain't your game, brother. And I've seen 3 evil figures surrounding him before. In the underground ruins in Baklan, the place that sealed the terrifying evil spirit. They existed in the form of a statue, but they didn't look as evil. They represent EBS, Lord of Storm, and the God of Knowledge and Wisdom. Wait. Those guys were at the end, no? Those guys were... His spirit became EBS, Lord of Storm, and God of Knowledge and Wisdom. So they were eating... So that's them eating his spirit? Suddenly, Klein's heart raced as he recalled the name he once received, one that he directly received when looking straight at the chart EBS, White Angel. Wait. Hold on. So ASG kinda goated, you know, he's fighting all the gods, okay? He's fighting all the gods. And he's kicking ass, okay? But he's also got his Kings of Angels with him, like little mini hymns, okay? They're handy in battles, but they're back at chapter 140. That's insane, okay? And ASG comes back from the battle from this fucking guy, and he gets murked, okay? But ASG comes back, and he's a little wounded. Maybe he's a little hurt. And three of his lieutenants decide, hey, listen, he's kind of being a selfish bitch, okay? He's kind of being a selfish bitch. He's taking all the sequence zeros. What if we kill him? We take him for ourselves. You know, fuck him. We're helping him out, and he giving us shit. You know, we're mere angels. He wants to be all the gods. What a selfish bitch. You know, just give us like a couple, but he's taking all of them. So we kill him. You know, he's sleeping. We go in there. We slit his throat. Over. Quiet. Chilling. And then the others, and they're evil, and then as they peer outwards, as they're killing him and eating his shit, the other angels walk in, like the other 4 or 5 or I don't know how many ever more, and they go, damn, we kind of like that dude, but now that he's dead, we might as well become gods too. You know, real sad he died, kind of sucks, but we become gods. And thus endeth the story of ASG, the betrayed. Okay. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Let's continue reading now. It's our characteristic now. No way. Could it be that EBS was once an angel by ASG's side? Little Son mentioned that they heard the ecclesiastic penitence and the prophecy of a matter in Afternoon Town. One of the sentences was that the kings often came to the palaces belonging to the dusk to conspire. EBS was originally named the White Angel and was also a king of angels, one that betrayed the true creator. Or the original creator. Fuck. Sorry, I'm gonna keep fucking that up, by the way. No, I don't feel sorry about it. Okay, let me put that in both Kings of Angels and EBS lore, I guess. ASG, they're one and the same, I think. I don't know. Oh, the creator's only ASG. original creator is the first of the universe. Yeah, but what they're doing to him is like a one-to-one to what happened with the original creator. Again, my theory is that the original creator died, or, you know, fucking whatever, was split apart. I don't fucking know, okay? And then he came back through ASG and got nuked again. I'm telling you, just kill yourself at this point. Who even knows? We feast, Wiz starves, the feast of betrayal. Actually, fuck you guys. I'm so hungry. And he and the Lord of Storm and the God of Knowledge and Wisdom and the Dark Infants, I have no idea what it represents, had benefited the most out of consuming the City of Silver's creator. The Bibles of the various churches mention that the three most ancient deities were born of the original creator's spirits. In a sense, it's hinting at this dark history. The three creators were... See? That works too. That works too. If my theories are correct, then the Lord of Storm and the God of Knowledge and Wisdom are likely the kings of angels that serve the Creator. ASG, who the City of Silver worships, perhaps they should be addressed as Wind Angel and Wisdom Angel. This way, all the 8 kings of angels are accounted for. I guess I'll put those names down too. I know they're stand-ins for now, but we'll put those in. Stand-ins. Lord of Storm, Wind Angel, okay, that's all 8. Cool. From what I heard the little son say, and from the subsequent developments of these kings of angels, it seems that apart from the 2 sons of God, Ammon and Adam, the other kings of angels betrayed the true creator. No way, this AGS ended up being too tragic. However, this picture might not be real, it might be sacrilege, it's still suspect. I wonder who the dark infant sitting inside ASG's abdomen represents. It feels like the true creator is the greatest suspect. Damn, Ramiro, how do you feel? What do you think of the lineup? What do you think of the lineup of the Kings of Angels now? The lineup of the betrayers. Could Ammon and Adam have been his strongest soldier? And Adam's actually kind of going to be based now? Or sorry, Ammon is actually going to kind of be based and is going to be like, hey, how about we join together and we kill those fucking gods? Based. Now I know all 8. Yeah, now I can tell. At that instant, he felt an irrepressible sense of fear that EBS, the Lord of Storm and God of Knowledge, were casting their gaze down in his imagination. Who left this picture behind? Who could have known so many secrets and clearly be on the ASG's side? Adam? Please don't let me lose all my aura points. I'm cooked. Bro, if Adam is actually down here, I'm removing the Unk emoji. It's Gojo over for you guys. Although Alder's observation skills were inferior to Miss Justice, he was still experienced beyond her. In this environment that needed a high sense of vigilance and awareness, it wasn't difficult for him to notice something odd had happened. What happened? He's asked with a suppressed tone. You think he has a reason to fight the gods? He's ASG's son, no? I feel like someone kills my dad, I'd be pretty angry. But, you know, that's just me. What happened? He asked in a suppressed tone. You'll know just by looking at it, Klein said. A picture that can make Gehrman tremble? Will it make me lose control? It's probably not a problem since he's not stopping me, but suggesting that I take a look. However, I can't eliminate the possibility that he's already lost his reasoning and is just acting normal. After about 8 steps, he saw the gloomy picture. Alger's hands trembled with the dagger and lantern in his grip. It was as though he was suffering from a mental illness. Thanks to the world, he had seen the 6 Orthodox deities' anthropomorphic statues in the Tarot Club. He recognized that the arm-eating, heart-ripping, and brain-guzzling figures were EBS, Lord of Storm and God of Knowledge. In the past, he committed a disloyal act to the church while under Kilongos' coercion. He joined the Tarot Club and distanced himself from the Chasm of Storm. He believed in Mr. Fool and wished to gain more strength and knowledge. And he leaked the church's internal intel and was unmotivated by certain matters. But he still believed in the Lord of Storm, albeit someone who wasn't devout and passionate enough. But at that moment, he felt deep in his heart that he had committed a grave sin of sacrilege. Do not kill myself directly. It means that I really have become a false believer. Those 3 are kings of angels? Alger asked with a trembling voice. I can't give you confirmation. All I can say is that EBS is intimately connected with the White Angel. Klein vaguely answered, as expected. They were once kings of angels. As for Gehrman, not only being able to confirm the situation, he wasn't too surprised, since he was only a blessed, and not Mr. Fool himself. Of course, that'd be crazy. How could Gehrman be Mr. Fool? It's insane. Give me a second. Okay. It was as though Alger was about to say something when he heard a sharp screech. It was as though someone was using their fingernails to scratch off the lid of the stone coffin. No, it wasn't an analogy, and it's exactly what was happening. Sharp, jarring sounds of scratching sounded from 3 stone coffins on both sides, and heavy lids were flung open. One of them wore an ancient white robe that nearly turned grey. Its face was riddled with pockmarks, and across its neck, forehead, and the back of its hand were deep eyes. Beside it was a figurine with huge palms and thick fingers. Thick fingers that looked as though they were made of wood. Slathered around its body was a layer of yellow-green pus as a mist of the same color emanated out of it, seemingly capable of eroding away the coffin. Opposite the 2 was a figure in a tattered brown jacket with a triangular hat with a skull on it. Many parts of his skin had rotted away. Under its cloth and pants, thick and slimy tentacles that had fish scales embedded inside it had burrowed out, releasing a domineering, savage, tyrannous and terrifying aura. It made Klein feel as though he was facing a high sequence beyond of the storm pathway. But its body didn't seem to reach that level. But its body didn't appear to reach, The 3 deceased bodies that crawled out of the coffin cast their eyes in the direction of Gehrman. So one of them, the one with the ancient white robes, seems like it would be the god of wisdom or his equivalent. The triangular hat and skull seems like Lord of Storm, like a piratey figure. I don't know who the 3rd is. Beside it was a figure with huge palms and thick fingers that looked as though they were made of wood. I don't know what that one. I don't know who that one would be. The 3 deceased bodies that crawled out of the coffin cast their gazes in the direction of Gehrman and Alger. One produced silver bolts of lightning that crackled, while the other reflected the duo's figurines in the countless eyes it had. The last one spread its yellow-green mist and created brown vines. At the same time, they swarmed over with loud and hurried footsteps as a 6-winged gargoyle was rushing over. Upon seeing this, Klein didn't panic. His Leimano's travel-wielding left hand reached into his pocket, tore open the wall of spirituality, and picked out Azek's whistle. Right on the heels of that, he flicked his wrist and threw the whistle to the other side of the room. Without any surprise, the three bodies rushed towards it like trained hounds. Alder's gaze froze before he made a decision. He threw his lantern and rushed for the door. His experience told him that Gearman could deal with the deceased. He needed to hold back the gargoyle to prevent it from interfering. Bang! Just as Alder arrived at the door, he saw the double door crack and a gargoyle charging in. Okay, that's actually really good teamwork. Alder saw that Klein or Gearman could deal with those three by himself, okay, but if they're fighting those three and the gargoyle comes from behind, they're cooked. So he was like, okay, let him deal with that. It was good. Can you remember Afternoon Town? Yeah, I remember it, Dr. Z. What do you mean? Are you referring to the time? Are you referring to the ecclesiastic? What are you referring to? He dodged the stone trident that smashed downwards and cleaved at the gargoyle's abdomen. Instantly, sparks flew as rubble sprayed everywhere. Alder flew back as the gargoyle's charge was disrupted. Bang! Alder slammed heavily into the ground. As he has created an air cushion in time, he didn't suffer any serious damage. At this moment, the three deceased bodies had gathered together to vie for Azek's whistle. Klein looked at them and finally flipped to Leimano's travel. Guy burst into flames when he tried to self-combustion, EBS. Oh, he tried to say a true god's name, and as soon as he tried to say the name, it was like peering into the soul of a god, and he just... Oh. Clever. Oh, Cuttlefish is so clever. Amidst sizzling sound... Okay, wait, hold on. Blank Tempted Sastrier. ASG Tempted Sastrier. I don't know what is... no, not ASG. What the fuck? EBS. Sorry, both sun gods. At this moment, the three... yes, Klein looked at them and calmly flipped to Leimano's travel to a charred yellow page. It was a demigod level power he recorded. Lightning Storm. Then Klein slid one finger across the notebook page with the death knell wielding hand. At the same time, he looked at the three mutated deceased bodies vying for Copper's whistle and greeted them. Bye-bye! Amidst the sizzling sound of the bolts of lightning meshing together to form a hurricane enveloping where the whistle was, as well as the three bodies. The entire tomb instantly lit up like it was daytime. Even Alder nearly failed to open his eyes. His body instantly trembled as a result of the terrifying aura. With the aid of the wind, he leapt out with a hurricane taking form in his eyes. He once charged at the six-winged gargoyle that attempted to attack Gearman. Okay, just 2 more chapters. Just fuck it at this point. Let's just finish it so I can go to bed. I might not even have breakfast. I'm so sleepy now. Okay, let's keep going. 813, a tyrant. Don't they refer to as wait, doesn't the god of knowledge and wisdom refer to the Church of Storm as the Church of the Tyrant? You guys are so evil. You're making me keep going. Well, the Church of God and Knowledge would know, because that's some bitch is kind of, you know, cheated with him, or betrayed with him, the little fucker. Aside from the sailor pathway's raging blow, Alder knew that he didn't have any powers to deal with the gargoyle's strong body. Of course, directly creating a resonance with its hearing organs and body of heart and mind was the most effective method. If this encounter had gone anywhere else, Alder definitely would have exploited the gargoyle's great weight and lack of agility to circle around it. Don't sleep, finish Volume 4 today. Volume 4 ends at like 9:15, 9:30, 9:20, something like that. If this encounter had been anywhere else, Alder definitely would have exploited the gargoyle's great weight and the lack of agility to circle it. Then as he sank to affect it, he would attack the same spot with sharp winds, slowly grinding through his enemy's defenses. But now he was in a catacomb, and due to the environmental limitations, he had to directly avoid it. Any acts of directly avoiding it would cause the gargoyle to turn its gaze to Gehrman. It would then attack the crazy adventurer with its trident, preventing him from seizing the opportunity to finish off the bodies. And the most important of all, Alder suspected that his singing would have more adverse effects on Gehrman than the gargoyle. The stone trident crashed heavily into the ground, blasting open an exaggerated crater. It left the catacomb shaking as if an earthquake happened. As for Alder, he didn't attempt to parry it. With the help of a strong wind, he dodged to the right and soared up, and agilely dodged the gargoyle's attack as he dashed forward for the monster's head. At that moment, he saw the eyes burning with flames. Alder's mind turned sluggish as his body stiffened. He had the feeling of being petrified again, but his skin didn't show any signs. Thanks to inertia, he continued soaring upwards, but he wasn't able to brandish the dagger. He slammed straight into the gargoyle's head before loudly being repelled backwards, his body aching. A heavy, grayish-white trident reflected in his eyes as his thoughts were sluggish. Alright guys, see ya man. Making it impossible for him to put up any resistance. Suddenly, a hand grabbed him by the shoulder and pulled him to the side. Bang. 9:46. Fuck. Okay, that's longer than I expected. Rubble flew as sparks were produced. The gargoyle's heavy trident blasted open a huge crater again. Alder's body trembled as his vision regained its clarity. He was like someone who had woke up from an irresistible nightmare which he was helpless against as he regained control of his body. Only then did he realize that Gehrman appeared by his side. There were still remnant flashes of lightning and sizzling sounds in the corner where the deceased bodies were. Do not lock gazes with it. Attack it at its chest, Klein said to Alder. We doing a 24-hour stream? When the game comes out, Bullseye. Alder had personally experienced and witnessed many battles. So without further explanation from Gehrman, he knew what the latter meant. He stopped receiving aid as he nimbly circled the gargoyle's flank. He ran towards the gargoyle and waited for the stone trident to sweep over him before soaring up high with the help of gales to dodge. Another hurricane pushed Alder through the gargoyle's chest. Or towards the gargoyle's chest. Oh yeah, I'll be long finished. During this process, he closed his eyes, pulled back his right arm, and bulged his muscles. Then, with his ability to dodge distances as a seafarer, he threw out the dagger-wielding right fist. Howling wind blades and sizzling lightning were emitted along with his fist. Alder's right fist heavily struck the gargoyle's chest, producing an explosive effect. It caused the gargoyle's stone to be covered in fine cracks as silver lightning snaked around. Might be finished with COI too? Probably. Following that, the crack widened and depressed into a pit. With a cracking sound, his dagger exploded, turning into countless fragments everywhere. The strong recoil sent Alder flying back. In midair, he saw through the corner of his eye that he had the hatted Gehrman that at some point circled to the front and cocked his revolver. He aimed his right hand at the gargoyle. Bang! The bullet tore through the gargoyle's chest. With the explosive boom, this monster convulsed a few times before its eyes were extinguished. It collapsed like a mountain. producing an exaggerated sound. Death knell dealt a lethal blow. So Klein gets everything from those three deceased people, and he gets like half of whatever comes out here. Because, bro, I helped. Well, maybe not half, but like he definitely gets a portion. Klein didn't speak to him or search for the spoils of war. He turned around and headed for where Azek's whistle sat. What would you pick as your code name? Bullseye. I don't know, man. Ask me tomorrow, okay? I just need to get through this. I'm so sleepy and hungry. Everything, fuck. Slippery tentacles covered in fish scales moved as the deceased body, with nearly half of its body gone, stood up. Bolts of lightning continued shaking, snaking around its body. It was a domineering, tyrannous and deceased body that wore a tattered brown jacket with a triangular captain's hat. Bye, Nagato. That'll be 2 if I stayed in the end. Listen, Nagato, we'll be done in like 30 minutes. Just consider it. What's the difference between 2.5 and 3? 0. But even so, it didn't... Wait, no. It was missing its left arm and right leg, as well as half its head. His body was covered in traces of charred and melted flesh. But it didn't rest sleep in peace. It was still attempting to fuse with the surrounding flesh to gain a stronger state. One had to know that Klein used Lightning Storm, which he had recorded from the Sea God Scepter. Even if the act of recording had reduced its might, it was definitely the Beyonder power at a demigod level. The math ain't mathin'. What's the... Okay, the difference between 2.5 and 3 is 0.5, which could easily be rounded to either 0 or 1, depending on what rounding method you're using, okay? No, I'm not wrong. Just the fact that the other two deceased went silent without letting out a grunt was a testament of its might. This awaken's deceased body is problematic. Probably because it's of the probably because it's of the sailor pathway, so it probably has a resistance to lightning because it's of its own pathway. Klein's heart stirred as he made Senor leap onto a smooth surface of Azek's whistle before attempting to reflect onto the deceased fish scale of its slippery tentacles. Everyone knows if it's... Yeah, it depends on what rounding method you're using, Bullseye. 0.5 isn't always... You don't always round up. You can round down easily, too. At that moment, through the marionette, Klein felt a tyrannical, a high-level repulsive force. Senor was repelled. Upon seeing this, Alger didn't question the situation. He raised his hand and created a spiraling wind around the deceased body, hoping to restrain it. However, the wind didn't sweep inwardly, as though it was afraid of something. So this is the same thing. A Beyonder of a higher sequence is able to affect the Beyonders of the lower sequence of the same pathway. The only thing to be happy about was that the deceased body didn't immediately attack the duo. Instead, it jumped to the left, bent its back, and attempted to pick up Azek's whistle. Klein flicked his wrist and precisely flipped through Lemano's travel to the page with Abyss Shackles. This was a Beyonder power recorded by Emlyn. As Klein swiped his death knell-wielding right hand onto the notebook, the shadows around the deceased suddenly came to life and manifested chains that shackled it firmly. Taking advantage of the opponent's brief pause, Klein raised his revolver in a deadpan expression. Different colors, red, green, white, appeared in his vision. Aiming, Klein pulled the trigger. Aww. A pale golden beam shot into the head of the deceased body, causing it to rupture immediately. And the purifying bullet emitted a sun-like radiance. The deceased body melted like wax. Monsters without any intelligence only move on instinct are so much easier to deal with than Beyonders at the same level. However, am I letting the copper whistle down? Ever since it was given to me, it has suffered explosion, catharsis of lightning, purification of sunlight. Life sure ain't easy for it. Klein repented for a second. He didn't head over, afraid that the deceased body would awaken again. He continued letting Senor to investigate the fellow who could resist the possession effect. Klein suspected that the deceased had taken an item of rather high value. Soon, Senor, in his non-wraith form, touched something and pulled it out. It was a card. Klein was very familiar with the man on the card. It was Emperor Roselle. Sequence 0 Tyrant. The Church of the Tyrant. That's so good. Oh, that's so good. That's so clever. Oh, that is unbelievably clever. And now Klein is taking that, and now that he gets that, because he unquestionably gets that because he killed those guys by himself, he can now sell all the potions, sequence or fucking ingredients to Alger, and he could sell it for everything. Because once he finishes digesting the sequence 5 potion, he would give everything in his possession to become a demigod. Do you remember that there should be something of value if a blasphemy card? Answer is blasphemy card. I feel like I guessed that there would be a blasphemy card. Did I guess that? No? No? Did I guess? I don't know. It feels like something I said, but I don't know. Oh, so clever. I was going to write it down, Bullseye, but we'll write that down later when Klein goes... I didn't guess that? Okay, never mind. But we'll guess that when Klein goes above the Grey Fog, because he will list out all the sequences, so at that point I'll just list all of them together. Alder also saw the card of blasphemy as his gaze froze. Flames of greed flared up in his eye. He took a deep breath and said, "The battle was intense. Perhaps other entities deep inside the cathedral have been awoken. Let's store away the items and prepare to leave." "Do you think I'm not aware? There's no need for you to nag." What happened to our tacit teamwork from before? Indeed, the tyrant card has affected you. You can't keep calm, and you've become rather talkative. Klein got the Senor to pick up the card of blasphemy and enter one of the deceased bodies to accelerate the production of Beyonder characteristic, and said, he coldly said, "You've already wasted 5 seconds." Alger was taken aback. Without saying another word, he walked to the remnant of the 6-winged gargoyle and dug out the eyeballs that glowed red. He then patiently waited for a moment and reached into its shattered back to extract the gargoyle translucent crystal. Can you guess any rituals of the sailor pathway? No, Pushkar, I cannot. No fucking clue, okay? But now that I will be able to read one through Klein, I will be able to give you a better answer. Alger's gonna be on cloud fucking 0 when Klein takes it. Elsewhere, with the Wraith's help, the deceased body that was covered with yellow-green pus produced a blob of brown soil. It had roots to it with hidden blood vessels. Wait, is this the characteristic of a sequence 4 or 3 of the storm pathway then? Without wasting time to guess the sequence or pathway, Klein got the Senor to store it away before heading for the deceased body, whose slippery tentacles were still twitching, to accelerate the production of the Beyonder characteristic. At least he... Not that high? No, I thought... Because Alger tried to affect it, no? And affect him, and he just kind of brushed it off. Doesn't that mean it's of a higher sequence? Without wasting time, seeing what looked like a jellyfish with azure blue seawater take its form, Klein and Alger suddenly heard a dragging sound. Oh, it had the card. That was a blasphemy card. Oh, I see. Okay. This sigh. This sighing came from the deep within the cathedral, bringing along with it an indescribable scent of ancientness. Oh, someone is here. Someone is here. Please let it be Adam, or I'm gonna lose. Oh, I'm gonna be so cooked. Dude, if it's Adam, I get to take away the emoji. That'd be goated. Dude. Sorry, I started looking into the light for a second. And it's so bright, it actually feels like I'm staring at the fucking sun. Oh, last one. No, last chapter. Let's go, baby. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am so sleepy. There may or may not be a morning stream tomorrow. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, okay? The long sigh that sounded from deep within the cathedral had left the back muscles of Klein and Alger tense. Without any hesitation, Klein's left glove turned transparent as he vanished, appearing beside the hanged man. As he grabbed his shoulder, the Senor picked up the jellyfish-like beyond her characteristic, and with the help of the mirror leap, returned back to the gold coin inside the iron cigar case. Right on the heels of that, Klein and Alger's body turned incorporeal and invisible, leaving the catacombs silent. The two of them were directly teleported a distance away. Their figures came into existence amidst the shadows of the clouds in the crimson moonlight. Subconsciously, Klein and Alger turned their heads in unison to look at the island, wishing to know if there were any changes. When they heard that sigh, they relied on their instinct and experience to immediately escape, despite not sensing any danger. But now, they couldn't help but feel curious. In their vision, the thick mist that cloaked the island quickly dispersed. The moonlight shone straight down without anything obscuring it. Us using the tempad? Actually, dude, this is what it was like. This is actually what it was like when we saw the after running away from the Sorrow Shield for 50 minutes straight, we finally got all our shit, or as much shit as we could get, and we're like, just get the fuck out of here, go. God. Amidst the howling, Klein and Alger floated in midair as they saw the island's state. It had vanished. The primitive island had vanished? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I actually fucking lost my mind. Hold on, I'm sorry. Did the Lord of Storm just, or like ASG or something, go? I feel like Lord of Storm or some bullshit, because Lord of Storm saw through fucking Alger's eyes or something, because he's off his pathway. I don't fucking know. And then went, that's annoying. Ugh. Gone. Alger the region it was in had dark blue seawater, which was almost black, was ebbing slightly. Nothing appeared out of the ordinary. Alger couldn't help but reach his hand into his pocket when he touched the six-winged gargoyle core. If not for the battle spoils still being in existence, he would have suspected it was all a dream. He wondered if he and Gearman had somewhat gotten lost, and if they hadn't found the primitive island and ended up completing the exploration in their dreams. Klein also had similar thoughts. He even felt as though he was hallucinating. After all, a giant island with so many powerful creatures from ancient times couldn't just vanish without a word. Even the seawater didn't show any corresponding signs. Thankfully, I didn't hesitate at all and chose to immediately escape. Otherwise, the hanged man and I might really vanish. Wait, That erasure feels like what the angel did. I don't know. The angel from the Evernight not the Evernight pathway, the Evernight church. Maybe it's the god of that pathway. I don't know who that is. But he just went, because she could erase a person. What if he can erase an island? Or even more, maybe. And maybe that's who put away Mr. Door. Klein suddenly felt a deep sense of joy. He didn't dare stay any longer as he activated traveling once again and vanished with Alger as they traversed the spirit world. We don't know what... No, I don't know what ability does that. Thunder, I got no fucking clue. The final scene of this body of water that froze in their eyes was the mist spreading out once again. After another teleportation, Klein and Alger returned to the deserted island. They stood on a reef and watched the waves strike the shores nearby. Alger looked around and heaved a silent sigh of relief. This ability is called Plot. He took out the core crystal of the six-winged gargoyle and said, "This is a shared spoil of war. You get to choose first." After weighing the matter, he considered the six-winged gargoyle to be a monster that the duo killed together. As for the three deceased bodies, they were solely Gehrman's. Klein didn't directly respond. He made the Seigneur float over and took out the Tyrant card, Brown Soil Beyonder characteristic, and the Jellyfish-like Beyonder characteristic. After doing all this, he said, "One battle. I'll choose first. Thrice." He meant that in the battle the duo faced, they had fought three deceased and a six-winged gargoyle. He had contributed greatly the entire battle, so the spoils of wars received in the tomb belonged to the pool. Of course, based on the contribution, Gehrman had the right to choose first and choose 3 consecutive times. Alger was taken aback. Okay. Klein immediately reached his hand towards the marionette and took the Tyrant card and said, "This counts as twice." He's actually weirdly fair. With the card of blasphemy along with the Sea God Scepter, he could barely be considered a fake demigod when taking action in his spirit body. Dude, what happens if Klein holds both card of blasphemy in his spirit body state? I mean, it becomes like solidified as fuck. It might as well just be his physical body at that point. But what does his appearance look like? What does a Tyrant Dark Emperor look like? This was also very useful when acting as a sea god. Of course, the greatest value of the Tyrant card was the high sequence potion formula of the Storm pathway, as well as the subtle ability to sense the ingredients needed after reaching sequence 4. And it was precisely because of this that Klein didn't wait until they returned to the City of Generosity Bayam to split the spoils of war. He was afraid that the Tyrant card would attract the Sea King Jan Kopman. Very clever. Then Klein will get a visit from the Lord of Storm? Nah, I'd win. I'm sorry. I'm sleep deprived and so hungry. I'm delirious at this point. It's up to you to say how many times it counts. Alger didn't retort, nor did he plan on objecting to Gehrman's claim. He watched as Gehrman reached for the jellyfish-like Beyonder characteristic, likely responding to Ocean Songster. To Klein, it could be used to create a mystical item in the Storm domain, replacing the Murloc cufflink that was taken away. It could also be bestowed to the Rorstad Archipelago's resistance to raise their survivability at sea. Of course, the condition was that they greatly pleased the Sea God. Putting away the Tyrant card and the jellyfish-like Beyonder characteristic, Klein glanced at the Hanged Man indicating his turn. Alger deliberated and said, "Can I choose the Sequence 4 potion formula from the card of blasphemy?" "No problem. I'll give it to you in the future." Although the Tyrant card had been activating it, using it was bound to cause quite a stir. Therefore, to be safe, Klein planned on heading above the Grey Fog after he returned to Backland. All right. Even with Alder's stateliness, he couldn't help but smile. After this adventure, once his digestion of the ocean songster was done, he could showcase his strength and take the path of being advanced by the church. When the time came, drinking an additional potion was no problem. Even if he didn't give birth to a child, just time alone could allow him to resolve the matter completely. Alder's gotta be so happy. The key Klein has been searching for sequence 4 and Alder just got it. What a guy. The key obstacle was going from 5 to 4 was a qualitative change. It was a sublimation of life's natural order. Countless ocean songsters in the church had worked for decades and failed to obtain the opportunity. Alder didn't believe that he, a mixed blood who had promoted himself from a servant, would receive any special treatment. Klein being the leader of a revolutionary army, he's basically Dragon True. Furthermore, in the Church of Storm, the potion was directly given for the advancement to Sequence 4. There was no understanding of the potion of the formula or its preparation. For Alder to gain an advantage in this intense competition, he had to have other ideas to set himself apart. His present line... You think dragons are fraud, Morpheus? His present line of thought was to kill a famous pirate. From him, he could obtain the cataclysmic interror potion formula. Then he could let the clues point towards the mutated deceased body in the primitive island. It was likely a powerful pirate who had once been active at sea before vanishing. This way, the upper echelons would definitely suspect that this powerful missing pirate obtained the card of blasphemy, and this undeniable reality could be verified via different methods. Alder could use the advantage of knowing the interror potion formula to obtain a chance of becoming Sequence 4. Oh, so Alder has no faith in himself to get the shit. He's basically just like, to get the ingredients. He's like, listen, I'm just gonna coerce them into saying like, hey motherfuckers, I know this. Either give me the potion formula or I'll leak it, okay? I'm gonna be a fucking lunatic. Give me the thing. He's gonna blackmail him, based. Of course, that's working on the premise that the church doesn't have a sealed artifact that can wipe away any corresponding memories. If this method doesn't work and there's no real way to advance, I can only secretly gather the ingredients and prepare the ritual for advancement. Once I become a Sequence 4, I'll leave the church and become a pirate king. Alder's like, listen, they hate us because they ain't us, okay? Either you're gonna give me my shit, or I become Kaido. Those are the options. Kaido or Garp. 2 options, your call. Glancing at the remaining items, he put away the grayish-white translucent crystal and handed the 6-winged gargoyle eye to Gehrman. Why the fuck do you get to choose twice, bitch? With him not lacking any powerful offensive means, and him being well-rounded when it came to the sea and land, it was rather useful for him if the Beyonder ingredient could be made into a mystical item. Back in, hopefully he doesn't become Ace. Damn, yeah, Ace is, listen, Ace was goated, okay? I just remember do you guys remember from, fuck, what was the, sorry, we're getting really One Piece themed here, but I mean, a lot of things are calling for it. What was the island where Luffy was fighting Crocodile at the sand island where Vivi was from? What's the island called? Fuck, someone told me. Alabasta. Yes, thank you. There's this scene where Ace is walking through Alabasta and this fucking like fraud or like the snake oil salesman says to him like, sir, if you eat this golden apple, you'll live for 1,000 years. And Ace turns to him and said, nah, I don't want to live for 1,000 years. Just living today's enough. My god, dude, what a guy. With him back in the tomb, if it wasn't because he was uncertain if psychic piercing could affect the gargoyle and the battle situation didn't allow for any mistakes, he would have chosen to first use the Whip of Mind. After splitting the spoils of war, putting them into different boxes, and sealing them with walls of spirituality, Klein stored away Signor, reaching out his hand to grab the hanged man. Their figures turned faint as they entered the spirit world. After the traveling was complete, the two appeared on the mountain beside Bayam City on the outskirts. It was still close to the cemetery. It was as though they had never left. Alger didn't harp on the topic as he nodded at Gehrman. If you ever need any mystical items created, I will bear the costs. It is a pleasure working with you. So couldn't Klein now, give him the characteristic that he just took for the Ocean Songster and tell him to make a thing? Wearing the transparent glove, Klein tersely answered before vanishing. He left the hanged man behind and directly teleported himself to a secluded corner in Bayam. Now I need to find a lucky pirate. Klein surveyed the area as he muttered silently and stretched out his fingers. Of course, he didn't forget to change his appearance. He also smeared blood over Leimano's travel. After all, there were bounty notices everywhere for Gehrman, and the Sea King Jan Kopman remained in the city. If he got lost or recognized, things would get bad. On the mountainside outside the city, Alger looked up at the dark night where there were crimson moon and countless stars. He slowly inhaled and exhaled, allowing the freshness and saltiness of the seaside cleanse his body. The exploration from now was just completed the most dangerous adventure I've ever had. If not for the teleportation from Gehrman, I doubt we would have lived. Oh, Romero, don't even say that. However, as Mr. Fool's blessed, the world should have other trump cards. For example, those demigod level beyonder powers. But in that case, we might not have successfully reached the tomb, thus encountering more trouble. Yes, that card of blasphemy from the storm path was the target that made him restrain his madness. Was this an instruction from the fool? He had already foreseen it? Perhaps he even knows that the existence that produced that sigh from deep within the cathedral. Back when Kilongos might have seen the tyrant card, he lacked the ability to get it. That's why he said that. Alger's mind churned as he walked to the foot of the mountain. Alright, it's done. We did it. Okay. Okay, guys, we're gonna call it there. I'm sure there's art. I'm too tired to look at it right now, but oh my god, that was so good. That was so good. I think that actually made sense. I think my theory makes sense. Original creator dies, after some time is able to recompose himself to come back as ASG, gets nuked again, and is trying to come back from Klein, or as Klein. Or part of Klein, not as Klein, but like as a part of him. Or maybe he's trying to take him over. I don't know. That was based. That was great. We now have two cards of blasphemy. We are truly becoming goated. Remember who was behind Kilongos? The Twilight Hermit Order. Yeah. They were trying to get the card of blasphemy. Yeah. Do you think Klein is going to be the next ASG? Do I think he's going to kill all those gods? Probably not. But I also don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. We're gonna call it there. Love you guys. Thank you so much for another fantastic stream. Again, I don't know if there's gonna be a morning stream tomorrow. It's 2 o'clock. I'm so sleepy. How base do you think ASG was? I think, considering he didn't produce the loyalty of his subjects, not that based at all. Okay, a true leader. Napoleon's soldiers would never have betrayed him. Okay, have you guys heard that story? When Napoleon was banished to a fucking island, he took a boat, came there empty-handed and with nothing, and Paris sent like 1,000 troops to go stop him, and he just gave them a speech that was so riveting, they joined him, and then they sent more men, and he gave them another speech, and they joined him. That's a true leader, okay? ASG, for spoils and riches, dies to his lieutenants. I feel like you're a bad leader. Get it together, you know. Although in fairness, one of Napoleon's lieutenants did betray him. That's actually the royal family of Sweden, I think it is. The Swedish, I think it's Sweden. Someone can correct me, but the Swedish royal family is actually French. Fun fact. It was actually. It's still headed by the descendants of Napoleon's lieutenant, who he sent there, and it's his descendants that are still the ruling monarch, because they because the lieutenant saw when Napoleon was about to lose and switched sides. Didn't Russia abandon him? Russia was never technically on his side. They were kind of weird. That part of history is rather confusing. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna leave it there. That's it for the. All right, that's it, boys. We're gonna go. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day, nights, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. I don't know fucking when. Love you guys.